Atrocity is recognized as such by victim and perpetrator alike, by all who learn about it at whatever remove. Atrocity has no excuses, no mitigating argument. Atrocity never balances or rectifies the past. Atrocity merely arms the future for more atrocity. It is the self-perpetuating upon itself, a barbarous form of incest. Whoever commits atrocity also commits those future atrocities thus bred. The Apocrypha of Muad'Dib. Welcome back to Dune Saga, everybody. Atreides Alpha Initiative Session 2. I am at Marone Recluse, your chronicler for this evening's awesome adventure. We will be continuing our story from last week when our house personnel were dispatched to Arrakis in order to secure the residency in Arrakeen and establish relations with the natives of Dune, the Fremen. After their arrival, they discovered the unexpected presence of a Fremen saboteur from within the household staff. They learned of reports describing Fremen having shot down Atreides spice mining sorties over the desert. What's going on? Stay tuned to find out. As always, please remember to follow Modifius Entertainment and Vorpal Tales on Twitch. Visit our website at vorpaltales.com and find the link to join our Discord. Subscribe or come check out our Patreon at patreon.com/vorpaltales. We're on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, and Reddit. Big thanks goes out to Free League and Modifius Entertainment for allowing us to play their awesome games, and Mikey Stad, aka Stars on a Black Sea, for their very immersive soundtrack for Coriolis. Also, big thanks to Tyler's brother at Nate Mid for the endlessly cool custom character sheets that he makes for our games. And lastly but not least, big thank you to Astral Virtual Tabletop for providing an awesome platform, perfect for hosting all of our games and providing very cool music for us to play. But before we can continue our awesome tale, we have our house entourage here tonight, and they are ready to ride Shai Hulud. Please tell the good people at home who you are and who you're playing tonight. Beginning with Steve.
Hello, I'm Steve. You can find me on the internet at Voodoo Arcade. Tonight, I'll be portraying Jamie Alamasi, House Assassin.
Very sweaty. Assassin. Jared.
Hello, my name is Jared. You can find me on the internet at Snipes262. And I am playing Dr. Branch, the good doctor, who may or may have not made some very disturbing choices last game.
Devin.
I'm Devin, and you can find me online at Sorta Sullied. And tonight I am playing the Bene Gesserit sister Mona Lux, who will actually be here, I hope, for the whole time.
Who will actually be here tonight?
Yeah.
At least for the intro.
At least now.
Yeah. She won't be invisible this time.
No. Tyler.
I am Tyler. Eldritch Echoes on the internet, and I will be playing Tahaid Rune. Mentat.
Mentat extraordinaire. Tim.
I am Tim. You can find me on the internet at Othellos99, and tonight I am playing the House Swordmaster, Aramis.
All right, let's take our melange tablets and expand our consciousness. From what you guys can recall, you had a little briefing of sorts on Caladan, on Castle Caladan. You were sort of primed for your mission here on Arrakis to make contact with the Fremen and root out any potential Harkonnen spies that were operating inside or outside the immediate residency that the royal house of Great House Atreides is supposed to be inhabiting within the next week or so. With you is Duncan Idaho, the famed, very famous sword master for House Atreides. He's leading this particular troop ahead of the royal family, or Regis Familia, before they arrive on the planet side. So he's sort of like the go-to person that you're going to get permission to do stuff or to report to them to stuff. You met a couple NPCs the last session. Some of the household staff were full Fremen-born. Some came from Carthag, the only other city on Arrakis. Some were from the city of Arrakeen themselves. Dr. Brock met a young water cellar boy of about 12 years old. He made a promise to him that he would potentially take him to the the world of Caladan, if he shared some sort of secret with him. When he shared that secret with the good doctor, they went on a little adventure and they discovered the roots of a Harkonnen spy potentially within the Regency staff. They conducted interviews, and that Fremen once compelled by the mystical powers of the voice coming from the Mentat Tayan Rune, was compelled to divulge all of her secret plans. And realizing that she was caught, she drew her crysknife and attacked the house assassin Jaime. Jaime defended himself aptly and was able to dispatch the attacker immediately, instantly killing her. And that's where we'll take off. This all took place very late in the evening, as right before the household staff typically ceases operations and they go home for the evening or what have you. That 12-year-old did not only overheard something being yelled inside of the makeshift interrogation room inside the infirmary. This is around the time that the doctor had come in, and they were both kind of panting, out of breath from the little adventure out in the Arakeen market. Aramis confronted them, and he immediately asked the doctor what was going on. The doctor then told him what had happened, to which he responded, "You did what?" and made a very loud noise. Around the same time that the saboteur, launched an attack against Jaime the assassin. And in the background, lurking always and listening to everything that's going on with our entourage, is the mysterious Atreides trooper, Mona. So you guys take it from here. All this just happened. You heard the last person that they took into the interrogation room yell something you don't understand, something about Jacarado or something like that, and they attacked them, and there was some sort of commotion that took place inside. That's all you guys know. For those of you that are on the outside, just immediately outside the infirmary in that hallway.
Oh, well, what was that? Do they need help? Something? I heard a big crash. Get your sword out!
Anybody calling for a medic?
No, but I immediately go to the nearest Fox transmitter and call Duncan.
Oh, I'll be right there. What's going on? And he starts heading down to see
I believe
where you're
you'll
at.
need to come see for yourself before we explore.
He tells you he's on his way. It'll
I'm
take
gonna
a
be
couple
on.
minutes.
Then I go stand in front of the door.
Hyan is ever curious. He starts sauntering over to the door, and he goes to push on the door while you're dealing with the doctor, Aramis. You see him walk right past you.
I go stand in front of the door after I call Duncan.
He tries to look around you, like, what's going on in there? Do you try to block his view completely, shut the door?
Yes.
Okay. You all see this sort of playing itself out, and he's like, what happened?
I'd also
That's
like to...
classified, don't I? Tell him. Wait for Duncan, he'll explain.
Could I go in and try to, make
I'm not letting you in either.
Oh, well, I was gonna see if I could save his life. Save her life.
Oh no, that guy's super dead. That lady.
Well, I thought I'd
That
ask.
lady is super dead. But I don't tell you that. I'm just like, Duncan needs to go in there first, and then he can decide what approach he'll take.
Well,
Everything is fine. There's nothing to see here. Please.
Oh, okay.
Move along.
Does anybody else do anything before Duncan and security arrives at the infirmary?
I pat the person I just stabbed down and try to swipe any intel off them that I can.
Nothing incriminating. The one thing that you do find, though, is the knife that she used to try to stab you with is almost... It doesn't look like it's made out of metal, that's for sure. There's almost... In the dim enough light, it almost seems to glow very, very slightly. But it is like bone milk white, and it's very intricately sort of carved, and it's curved in certain areas. It looks like it's made out of bone. Very interesting looking material. You're like, huh, that's a first. Never seen anything like that before.
Can I scoop that up?
Anybody else do anything before Duncan and security arrive? You already hear them on their way down. You hear it on the comms as well. Security's already been alerted, and the security commander is up and running.
No,
no.
I'm staying out of the way in
Oh
the
yeah,
background.
I just
Nothing really
make
I
my way
can
back
do.
towards the door and just stand over by the door and just wait.
Duncan shows up in half attire, the the uniform that he normally has on has like a part of it unclipped, so he looks like he was just settling in for the evening, and then he had to like rush and put on his jacket and come down. He's armed as usual, and with him is actually the security commander that you saw from earlier today, Security Commander Wu. Oftentimes called Spooky Wu because of his eyes and the way that he likes to stare at people like this.
Well done.
That's top tier.
Yeah. That's worth the next 3
that.
spooky woos. You can skip them.
So yeah, Commander Wu and a couple of the Atreides troopers, along with Duncan, stomp down the hallway, and they're like, "What happened?" Wu's just like, "What happened here? What's going on?" And he goes to like open the door and see what's going on in the infirmary.
Oh, I let him in the security group in. I'm just keeping all these other rookies out.
Oh no.
I don't understand you. Why won't you let me in? I could help you. I could diagnose the body. I could get evidence that you can't see. Why won't you let me
How would you know there's a body?
in? I heard
Tilt's head all the way to shoulder.
crazy crash over there. I'm going to assume
I'm just gonna-
there's only a couple things that she can do that would.
Duncan kind of hangs at the doorway for a second and just realizes what's going on. It's like, all right, let's get all these people out of the hallway. He says, as he looks over to the Commander Wu. Wu leaves the room and he posts his guards and he's like, get these people out of the way right now. And I see Hyan's like, wait, what happened to Nihal? And they just sort of like start escorting him down the hallway. He's like, you see him like his eyes are pleading, like he's trying to peer beyond the reach of the security officer, trying to like escort him out of the hallway, and he seems legitimately concerned, like what just happened? Is this because of me? Like his eyes almost like have this guilty look to them as he tries to perceive what's going on. Anybody else who's not immediate house entourage personnel are being escorted from the hallway.
Christ, I don't like this at all. Only.
What happened here?
I want
He
to be sitting in my the chair that I was sitting at when I was doing the interrogations, and just calmly sitting while the body's still on the ground, and I just have my handkerchief out as Duncan walks in.
He needs a cup of coffee though, just sitting there.
What? He's like,
I look at Duncan and I relate to him exactly what happened, detail for detail, using Mentat's eidetic memory. Nothing is left out.
Do you tell him that you used the voice on the prisoner? I mean,
Nothing is left out.
Oh, interesting. Because I will say that if you use the voice and you get 3 or more successes, it's not obvious that you used the voice. So when you used your fortune points on Iblis earlier, and anybody else for that matter, it's counted as an extreme success. So it was just so subtle that you just wove it into regular conversation. They were not even aware that they were being manipulated.
No, in that case, no.
You don't mention it. Interesting. Okay. Alright, so he's like, huh, she confessed. Huh. Working with the Harkonnens. Well, I gotta say, that's pretty impressive. First day here, and you found a saboteur among their ranks. It's like, Duke's not gonna be pleased about this, but it's better that we catch him now before everybody else heads over from Caladan.
Exactly.
Did you get any intel from her interview? Anything that they were planning? Any other plots? Any other details that we might have missed before?
Out of character, it was that they were still planning they're attacking the helicopters, right?
The Thopters, yeah, like they're clearly behind what's going on, but she said some real cryptic shit to you just before she died. Like, oh, this thing ends with you, and this whole place is gonna go up in flames and stuff like that.
Okay.
She made very general allusions to House Atreides' fall.
I'll reference that one back. It's like, she just spoke in platitudes about this ends with us, and one oppressor is no different than the other, and we will burn.
Find out anything that you can about anything else that she might have been running. If she had other people among the staff, and he gets his comm out and he contacts the security commander, and it's like, "Woo, I need you to lock down the palace. I don't want anybody in or out of this place for the entire evening. Anybody else, any of the household staff that normally goes home outside the palace walls, they can stay in the household staff area. I just open up a room for them out there and make sure that they stay inside. We need to conduct a further investigation into this. Anybody who knows anything will need to come forward and give us information about what happened." Understood, Commander. Yes.
Yes, toss a room, interrogate any known associates. You'll find the information you're looking for.
Well, I guess it's better that we found out this way than the alternative. We still got a thopter ride in the morning. For those of you who are going to be prepared, be ready to meet me on the tarmac at first light. Get some rest. I'm pretty sure we're all going to need it.
Most certainly.
Oh, I definitely need some shut-eye. I really like some. So.
You spend a good half an hour in the infirmary just going over what happened. He, goes over protocol and stuff like that with you guys, and then he, at least for the evening, goes to settle in. He's maintaining contact with Hawat to some extent, so everything that you relate to him will inevitably get to him, and so on. So he goes away, and so does the security commander. Is anybody else doing anything for the rest of the evening, or is everybody packing it up for the rest of the night?
I'll pack it in. Early
I
to
like
bed,
to
early to
have a
rise.
conversation with everybody.
Sure.
I've had
before
an
they
adventurous
retire?
enough evening.
Yeah. What did you want to say, Dr. Brack?
Wow. We're in our own room, right? We're like privately. Okay. Correct?
Currently you're in the infirmary before everybody sort of disperses to their quarters or what have you.
I go up to everybody and I'm like, before you guys go to bed, I would like to speak with all of you. So please, at your earliest convenience, meet me in my room. Please and thank you. And then I just leave and head.
Well, everybody, as I don't know if I communicated it well enough, but the majority of the troops that you brought down from Caladan, the 20-something troops, Duncan, everybody, they're staying in like these converted silos that are on the back of the palace. Like they haven't covered a lot of the areas in the residency for traps and stuff like that. So they're like, until that happens, you stay over here in this converted area. So everybody's sleeping on cots and stuff like that, almost like barracks style. So that's essentially where you're retiring to, in a nutshell, until the whole rest of the household is complete by the end of the week.
Okay, then I tell them that I'm like, meet me over in this area. Basically. I go back and I go and I wait for them.
All right. So yeah, you guys meet up in like this, let's say the dining room area where the banquet, style tables are set up and the communications equipment is set up. And you guys go in there to speak privately.
That's good. I like it. So, while you guys were doing your interviews, as you could tell, both me and the 12-year-old were definitely out doing some field work, if you would say so myself. Almost died getting this information, but I have some information that you guys would definitely like. First, I would like to know what was in there, and I will not relinquish my information before you tell me. And if I tell you there's one other thing, I'm very skilled at what I do. Please stop making fun of me and saying that I will not last long on this planet. We are a family, and that's the way I see it. So, would you mind telling me what was in that room and what happened?
Doctor, I'm sorry. Are you trying to coerce information out of us?
Maybe a little bit. But we're on the same side. That's the way I see it.
There's a little bit of a commotion as you guys are talking amongst yourselves and just sort of observing one another. There's a little bit of a commotion out in the hallway, and you see, like, I swear this is better be something important. And you see, like, in comes that foppish noble guy from House Demios, Avallard Montross. He comes in. He's part of your house, Dr. Brock. So you guys are part of the same sort of household structure, and he comes in, it's like, the good doctor is here. Like, What exactly is going on around here? I was retiring for the evening. I heard all these alarm bells going. I had no idea what was going on. What exactly occurred? It is quite the late evening to be having a meeting. Do you not think so, gentlemen?
But it is. I also think you should know this too as well. Well, either way, inside of, from what I was told, there was an altercation in the interrogation room with them. I'm not sure what exactly happened, and I would love to know, but I'll tell you what I know off of good faith.
Oh yes, details, please.
So, basically, what we were doing is I got to really close with the 12-year-old boy. The thing is these guys were interviewing everybody, and from what I know, they knew who the corrupt person was, or whatever, that sort of thing.
Oh,
They
you caught a spy.
Yeah, they caught a spy. But the thing is you need to be smart enough to know that you're not supposed to ask the spy. The spy is not gonna answer the questions you have because they're a spy. That's the total opposite of a spy. So
It is quite odd.
It is very odd. I don't understand why they ever thought that. But anyways,
I'm truly I'm truly ecstatic, honestly, that we have a doctor who is also an expert in espionage.
oh, what did you say so myself?
House Demios is quite quite an attribute to House Atreides' alliances, are we not? He completely does not get the.
Anyways, me and the 12-year-old, what's his name? Either way. Anyways, thing is I found where that spy was meeting her contacts.
I say, and you're just bringing this information to us now?
Well, I was leaving it off of good faith. That's the thing. These guys won't tell me what happened in there. All I know is that there was a big crash. There could have been hurt people in there. That's all I know.
We shall have to follow up on this in the morning, perhaps.
I see. Okay.
Oh yes, Master Idaho, I believe, is already retired, I think, and as well as the security command. I think the second in charge is taking the night shift at the moment.
Okay.
We can probably bring this to their attention in the morning, perhaps, over spiced coffee and whatnot.
10-4. I need as much rest as I can because, stuff happens. Maybe I have to reattach a leg tomorrow. You never know.
If you say so, good doctor. Anybody else say or do anything in this little impromptu meeting?
I look to Rune, and I kind of gesture towards the doctor, and kind of like that. What are your
thoughts, your computations?
Thoughts about filling in the rest of the group about that information?
Giving them the barest of details is probably safe.
Okay. Doctor, you're right. You do deserve to be filled in on things that are happening in the house. We are, of course, working together. We are all part of the same team, ultimately. Therefore, I will let you know. We did, in fact, interrogate, question, speak to, create inroads, and were successful in rooting out a saboteur within the house. And
impressive.
They have been dealt with summatively. So, no reason to worry yourself on that end any longer. Let's focus our attention toward our doctor ride in the morning and look at the assaults that have been happening.
Agreed. And I will tell you every detail I know about this meeting place.
Good.
Very well, gentlemen. It's been an exquisite conversation. I believe I'm quite exhausted after everything that happened today. I think I'm gonna go lay down and get some rest.
You should. You've done a lot.
He gestures, and then he leaves him and his small entourage leave with him. And without any further ado, you guys wrap things up in the meeting room, and then you all securely go back to your bunks or what have you, and you retire for the evening. You try to get some rest. Before dawn, however, you all awaken to the sounds of yelling and clamoring at the front gates to the palace. Looking out a window, or even if you marginally make your way to the front entranceway, confirms that there is a very angry mob just outside, threatening to overpower the guards currently holding them back. The crowd itself is congregating around what appears to be a large brown cloth covering an unmistakable mound of what you imagine to be corpses. Nearby are two Fremen, dressed in deep desert fashion, their calm, silent demeanor like the eye of a storm. With every moment that passes, the crowd's voices become louder, and their numbers begin to swell. Security Commander Wu can scarcely be heard over the din, issuing orders for his men to hold fast. The crowd appears to be chanting the Fremen word for justice. Some in the crowd yell at the Atreides personnel and accuse them of having murdered innocent people, citing the mound of bodies there as proof. "We have seen your true face, Atreides! We have seen what you do to the people you claim to govern with benevolence!" Comm chatter explodes the moment CommNet goes live for each of you. Many of the troopers that came with Idaho are rushing to reinforce the front gates. Idaho himself is already rushing towards the scene, an uncharacteristically worried expression over his face. He sees the two Fremen within the crowd and tells Commander Wu to summon Avallard and everyone else to come down and help calm the mob and drive a wedge between them and the two Fremen. They are to escort them into the dining area and the bodies to the infirmary for the soup doctor to inspect. The Fremen don't seem to resist being brought in, but the people around them seem quite upset. It seems, in fact, that this was their plan, and it seems to be working spectacularly. What are you all doing?
Out of character, are we? So we are. Did it wake us up?
Yeah, you guys hear like the alarm bells going off, and a bunch of Atreides troopers like front gate, front gate. And you see a lot of them like taking positions with their laser guns and like setting up positions, as it were, for potential impromptu retreat if they need to go inside the residency or into the barracks area.
Aramis, where are you? I need to be behind you. I don't do with pointy things pointed at me. Aramis, help me. And I hide behind.
Yeah, you see the
and grab him.
There's a
behind me. I just shove him to the side a little bit.
You're like, get out of the way, Doctor. Doctor, you actually hear a voice within the crowd that resonates with you immediately as all of you start coming out to see what's going on. You hear one voice above all of the others. There's that street preacher person that looked like they were burned horribly in different places. Like he was, signaling the end of House Atreides. Like, oh, it was foretold. I have seen it. Like. You hear his voice above all the others, and it's like, how dare you call yourselves, benevolent rulers? And he's just shooting off. And most of the time, people throw things at this guy, but now he's sort of like leading the charge at the gate, and people are starting to flock to the front gates, causing a disturbance. What is everybody doing in this particular instance?
I yell at Aramis, and I'm like, Aramis, come here for a second. And I tell him that guy is the source of this. He's a crazy nut job that's talking about the end of days on Arrakis. And basically a doomsayer. So, we take...
The two Fremen are still there, and they're just kind of standing there, staring with their blue eyes, through the crowd and into the security personnel. And the security personnel are like, all right, we need you two and whatever this is over here, and like pointing at the mound of bodies that have like a brown sort of like cloth draped over them.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, I tell Aramis and I'm like, pass it on to the other two. That's the one we have to deal with first.
I just look at the doctor. You tell them, and I just push him in front of me now.
Doctor, are you going with people like Aramis to the front of the gate, or are you staying
That's where I'm
back?
heading. I'm heading towards the front of the gate.
Okay.
Go meet up with the guards
so-
that are going to lead those two Fremen in.
Mhm.
But actually, question out of character. Do we know that those bodies underneath the tarp are actually, in fact, dead?
You haven't looked. Nobody's looked yet.
Okay. Because
Oh.
that's what I'm going to end up Because are we bringing those in through the gate?
Yeah, the plan is to have security drive like a wedge and basically push the crowd back enough so that they can bring in the bodies that are supposedly there, along with the two Fremen that are overseeing this. Like they're standing right behind the mounted
That
bodies.
seems like a terrible idea.
Yeah.
Security Commander Wu's just like set up a wedge over here and bring these guys inside and see what's going on.
It does sound like a horrible
Somebody
idea.
tell Wu
So unless
he's a-
somebody wants to take control or make a suggestion or
I'd
I look
like-
around for that elite soldier. It's always
Yeah,
always
this
there, but
seems-
never
this is not
talking
my-
monologue.
Yeah, this is not
that's your forte. You hang back. That's fine,
I was
yeah.
about to say I'd like
No,
to
no,
walk.
I go looking for Monolo specifically. Do I see you?
Only if she wants to be seen, I
Right.
suspect.
That's why I'm
Yeah,
asking.
no, I was just planning on sneaking up to Commander Wu and just subtly
whisper.
whispering into his ear and saying, "Check the bodies. They're alive."
You go to Security Commander Wu. It's like you should probably check the bodies first, and he's just like he's busy talking with Avalard, and Avalard's like, "Please, everyone, please calm down. I have arrived. We should be calm, and we should be thoughtful of what we're doing here. You there, cut that out." And he's like, just trying to like use his ego to like placate everybody. It's not going particularly well.
Monolo, I actually am standing beside you now, and I whisper to you. No one else has figured out what you are, but I have. I'm sure you brought the garb appropriate to those of your kind. If so, perhaps you can put it on and speak to the crowd. You're kind of respected across all worlds.
True. I wander away. I come back in the appropriate attire out of nowhere.
Found it.
Before you do the insta change, does Aramis want to do something while he's there with Commander Wu and the other troops?
Actually, yeah. Is the wedge already formed between the crowd and the bodies?
Not
Or
quite.
is it not quite?
The crowd is still kind of pushing back against the Atreides troops. Like Atreides troops are like, "Hey, please back up," and they're like, "No, you back up!" They're having this back and forth situation right now.
Right. Okay. I'm gonna take a position right behind the forces, the guards that are there that are starting to try this wedge. I'm gonna go right behind them just in case someone decides to slip through and do something stupid.
Okay, so
there's
you're
always
like backing
one.
up the guard.
Yeah, just in case, because there's always one.
There's always somebody. Yes.
There's always somebody.
Okay. Okay, cool. You can give me a force roll. Sounds weird asking for that, but yeah, you're on your sheet. You have points in force. Give me a roll for that, please.
One.
You got one success. Okay.
Yes.
All right. 1 second. Hey, that's pretty awesome. So you arrive just in time as Mona goes to try to do this change outside everybody's perception. The crowd, there's a surge in the crowd suddenly. Like there's people like pushing back on the Atreides troops, and you manage to like hold the line, so to speak. Like you band together with the rest of these guys, like oh, and you push the crowd back a step, and you manage to clear them just to the point where the two Fremen are there. You see, one of them is a man, the other one is a woman.
Mhm.
They both look at you, and they have like the full mouth covering with their, over their mouths and stuff, and they just kind of look at you silently. One of them in particular makes eye contact with you, and says something in a language you don't quite understand or quite overhear as well, within all the shouting and everything all the chaos that's taking place right away.
Okay.
Eventually, though, Mona Lux comes back, or somebody appears out of nowhere. That elite trooper disappeared, and all of a sudden, there's this woman in a black Abba robe, just swirling around her as like the wind kicks up, and she approaches the front gate. What do you want to do, Mona?
I just plan on stepping up in front where it's a place where I can be very well seen, and just in that calm but still commanding tone that is the voice, tell everyone, calm and stop.
Roll Mystic Powers voice, but I want you to add like 3 dice to it
Okay.
as a bonus. So in the upper right hand corner, just double click that, put 3, and then hit your Mystic Powers roll. That's all you got, is 6? I thought you had more than that.
No, with the bonus, it's a total of 10. That was,
That's mine. That's 6.
yeah, I rolled 2 dice.
You got 2
Two
successes.
successes.
Oh!
Out of 10 dice! 10 dice,
Holy
2
cow.
successes.
Okay,
That is my rolls.
very well done. Okay, yeah, so you just like, you put it just right. It's not super subtle because you have to like raise your voice considerably over everybody else's, but your voice is the most prominent one out of this entire gathering right now, even drowning out the preacher. He's just like, oh, the fire will come from the sky, and then you're just like, please disperse, or whatever it is that you want to say.
I'm doing the calm and stop because then I'm going to tell them, the Bene Gesserit will oversee this to ensure the proper party gets.
Just wave your hand and be like, these are not the Atreides you're looking for.
Proper
Wrong film.
justice will be dispersed in the proper time, in the proper ways. I don't know, however you want to put that.
Proper justice shall be dispersed. I, Sister Mona of the Bene Gesserit, shall ensure this. You may leave now.
You see, you do that, and you almost sort of like raise your arms in benediction, and the majority of them, like some of them, see you in the opera robe and immediately like get down on their knees or stop what they're doing, and the hush falls over the crowd for a moment as they sort of like realize who's actually talking to them, and a lot of them are like whispering to one another. It's like, is that her? Is that the mother? I don't know. I've heard that there was a Bene Gesserit among them. Oh. Like they're just like whispering and chattering amongst each other. As soon as they see you come out in that, they just kind of like. Commander Wu, taking your suggestion, Aramis, like, check those bodies there. Make sure that they, we have that those are corpses and not some sort of a surprise attack. You see, like, the Atreides troopers like lift the brown covering, and they see what appears to be 2 locals dead, and an Atreides trooper in uniform also dead.
Am I in the room for this, correct? I don't know.
You're sort of in the background, I think, because he kind of pushed you, Aramis kind of pushed you in front of him, but then he had to go reinforce the line, so to speak, so you were kind of left behind. Unless you want to advance to the very front of the gate, in which case you can be witness, you can like look over their shoulders and just like see the bodies.
Yeah, I would like to do that. I would like to observe them to see what there's multiple stab wounds or anything like that.
If they're in fact actually dead or just presumed dead.
Yeah, pretty much, yeah.
Made fakely dead.
Okay.
They're mostly dead.
There was something I want to do really quick.
And then when...
So while they're kind of focused on the front gate and all this stuff that's going down there, you said that I was able to wake up in here, so I know what's going on generally.
Yeah, if you have a comm, you know what's going on, yeah.
So what I'd like to do is kind of like turn the comm down a little bit and start going into sneak assassin mode, and if I can, I'd like to go, since everyone's distracted, I'm hoping that maybe the person I killed is not being super protected right now. If I'd like to see if I can snatch up some Fremen clothing from somewhere, either someone's room, quarters, the person I killed, and if I can't like put on their robes and kind of like blend in with them, if I needed to.
Give me observation.
Zero.
Okay. You look over the Nihal's room, I suspect.
Yeah, it's kind of where I was thinking I would get the best, like, the easiest attainable.
You don't find anything secretive. You do find a scarf though that you managed to find that has like a very particular color, like almost has like a yellow color to it, very like canary yellow.
Okay.
And you're like, huh, interesting. Local and like you kind of smell it for a second. It's like, oh, it smells kind of nice. Do you take it with you, or what do you want to do with it?
I would like to take that with me. I'd like to
All right.
kind of like put it in my waistband,
Mm-hmm.
and kind of walk around with it, ready to go. And I still have the knife that I don't know what it is.
Chris knife, yeah.
I don't
Okay.
know.
Sure. All right. You tuck it away, and all right. You spend some, while this is happening, you spend some time searching her room. Eventually, the guard are successful in managing to drive that wedge, and you see the security commander is like, "You two, coming with us. You four, pick up those bodies and move them inside to the infirmary. Let's go." He sees the Sook doctor, and is like, "Doctor, would you be so kind? You can give me a Medicurg roll, doctor, just to kind of like do a
Sure.
real quick analysis of what's going on."
Give me
Jesus.
11 on that dice pool. Dang.
Yeah, I'm a doctor.
Wow,
God.
the boss.
I'm a boss at this.
3 success, critical success. At a glance, you know, yeah, they're dead, and you also know how they died. Also, those that just from the way that the wounds were cauterized on the locals, it looks like they were hit with laser gun rifles of some sort. Like they got cut to ribbons. The Atreides soldier looks like they were shot, possibly stabbed to death, or a combination of both, judging by the immediate contusions and scars and stuff like you see that have. They also look like they've been dead for a while. Like they're not fresh bodies. They look like they've been dead for like a week.
Looks like someone set this up. This may be the cause of the riots. Well then. So this just didn't happen now.
Nope.
Obviously, I'm gonna keep that information to myself until like everything's like died down and the riots have been dealt with.
Yeah.
So, I'm just gonna do what I can to like help. Maybe if there's any injured soldiers that need my help, that's what I'm gonna do.
You see all right. You assist in that regard. You start taking the bodies into the infirmary inside. The security commander takes a look around and goes, "I'm sorry, who are you?" And like looks over at Mona when he first lays eyes on her. It's like, the hell? And he's like, "Oh, my lady Jessica, I wasn't aware." And then when he looks up and realizes that you're not who he thinks you are, he's like, "I'm sorry, who are you?"
Exactly who you need.
Wow.
What do you have in manipulation, out of curiosity?
And manipulation.
500, I assume.
God, Jesus.
No,
Oh,
I've
the
only
dice.
got I've only got one in manipulation. It's the
Oh,
voice that's all my
no.
power. The voice is all my powers.
Okay.
That way I can just manipulate perfectly. There's no manipulation.
Apparently you're right. Whoever you are, he says, and he kind of narrows his eyes at you a little bit, and he's like, "All right, shore up this line over here. Make sure these people stay back. You two, come forward." He motions to the two Fremen, and he looks over to Aramis. Is like, "Make sure that they get escorted inside and they don't leave."
I can handle that.
Where do you want to take them, Aramis?
I'm just gonna take him right to the foyer, right in through the doors, and just keep them right there until everyone else comes in.
Right. Okay.
Because I don't need them wandering around or going somewhere where they don't need to be.
Okay. Abelard tries to make himself look good and puff his chest up and is like, "Well, I'm glad I was here to help with the assist with the this particular resolution, Commander." And you see the rest of the crowd is still there, but they're just kind of backing up and they're trying to get a better look at Mona Lux. As the crowd starts to sort of disperse after a bit, after they slowly start to close the gates behind the two Fremen, the rest of the crowd sort of disperses a little bit. Some people still hang around, but the street preacher's nowhere to be found. He kind of disappears down the street. Anybody else doing anything? Are you all following suit into the foyer along with the two Fremen, or is anybody else going into any other particular area?
What is the reaction, or kind of like, reaction of the house staff Fremen?
The household staff?
Yeah.
They're kind of freaking out. when they're seeing what's happening, and like you see the security personnel are just like, oh, stay out of the foyer right now, like it's not a good time, and a lot of them are trying to get a good look. As you all start get brought into the foyer, you all start to notice that out of the household staff that you see wandering around, Hayan is nowhere to be found.
That's the kid, right?
You guys get brought in. Eventually, Duncan, comes in with the security commander. Is like, all right, I'll take it from here, Commander.
Okay.
He closes up the doors, and he's like,
So they're not acting like, haha, it's time. Finally, we shall rise up. No, they're freaking out. Okay.
they didn't realize. They all look pretty surprised as to what's
Okay.
going on.
All right. Cool.
Panic. All right.
Then yeah, if I can see that that's them, I'll go in the foyer with the rest of the group. I'll meet back up with them.
All right. You see, you guys get brought in, and let's see. Everybody starts introducing themselves to one another. Like you see, Idaho's like, okay, well, welcome to House Atreides. He says. He looks at the two Fremen gathered, and one of them, the man, is like, we know who you are. It's like, all right, I guess you'll talk and I'll listen. He goes and he has a seat like in an ornate chair nearby. He makes eye contact with Tahyun, and he's like he basically tells you in his own in Atreides battle language. He makes a gesture like that says, "Come here," and like, I need you to watch these two. Everybody else, you can take positions around the foyer itself as the guards close the doors and make sure they keep everybody out. Minus the doctor, I would imagine, because I'm sure the doctor is going to be with the bodies in the infirmary.
Doing God knows what.
Pyramids.
Abelard is with the commander, the security commander. He's like, "Oh yes, we handled that quite well," and him and his entourage is like screwing off somewhere else. Yes. Correct. You see, Idaho's waiting for the rest of the troopers to bring in the body, or they brought in the bodies to the infirmary, and he's like, "What is this? Like, why are you doing this? Like, can you explain?" And he's like, the one guy steps forward, takes off his mask, and he pulls back his hood. He says, "I am Turok. We bring you one of your warriors and the innocents he and others like him took a week ago. The people who were killed were not Fremen. You nonetheless owe their village a water debt. We are here to collect in their stead." You see, Idaho is just kind of like, huh, okay. And he starts looking around the room at each one of you, like, which one of you would like to engage with the Fremen, or is everyone staying quiet?
Hang on, did he say that they're collecting a water debt?
Mhm.
Because the two that are not. Did you say the two are not Fremen? Is that what he said?
Yeah, although they're not Fremen, they belong to a village, and they're here to collect on behalf of the village. The village's water debt. This is kind of like their way, like, yeah, you owe these people their lives because your people killed them, and here's proof.
But
You see, one of
are
the-
we sure that he's an actual Atreides and not just dressed in Atreides?
You bring up that point, and he's like, you only have to look at their weapons. And you see, Idaho's like,
Weapons and clothing can be replaced.
Security Commander Wu, I need you in the foyer right away. He's like, bring me any items that you found on that Atreides soldier. Right away, Commander. You see, eventually the security captain shows up, and he comes in. He with him is like, he has like a tray of things that were taken from the infirmary. He sets it down off to the side, and he's like, "My lord," and he like gestures. These are, in fact, Atreides weapons. They have like the hawk emblem on the knife, and like these are weapons that are registered with House Atreides, like brand new weapons. This isn't like some sort of like knockoff laser gun that they got from somewhere and they just like painted a
Right.
logo or something on it. Like these are legitimately from Caladan. Like they came here in a case somewhere.
Right. But even still, that can go missing and put on a body. Because the
He's-
body is he himself an Atreides. Or is he a
He's like,
Harkonnen?
Are you not House Atreides? I would imagine you would know better than I.
But I do not see. I have the body here now, do I?
He doesn't seem to be convinced that you disbelieve. Like, he does not. He's not
It's not
convinced
I-
that you
it's not
don't
that
have
I
a
don't believe
guilty,
him. I want to make damn sure before I start giving out water.
Sure. Give me a manipulation roll.
Oh, this is gonna hurt.
Yes, yes, it is.
I have no dice in this.
Good luck.
Surprised if you get it, actually. No. You're like, oh, but that could be easily replaced, and he just kind of gives you this look that says, "Really? You really think I'm gonna believe that?" And he's like, you see, the woman speaks up this time, and she's like, "We've dealt with the Harkonnens for decades." She says. She takes off her mask. A beautiful-looking woman. She's just like, "I am Hamza." And she's like, "Turok and I are from the same siege." And he's like, "We discovered the atrocities that the Atreides have left in their wake out in the Imperial Basin." And he's like, "We've been waiting for the opportunity to present these this atrocity to you for some time. We're hoping to meet with the Duke. We were told that the House entourage should be arriving today. We did not expect you to be here. But I suppose this will have to suffice. What sort of justice can you bring to these people?"
I have an out of character question.
Sure.
What did we know in regard to what do we know about Leto's plan for Arrakis? Are the atrocities that they're referring to in line with what we've been informed? But we're this advanced team. Do we know what the goal is? I'm trying not to reference the book specifically because I know what
Sure.
Duncan came here to do in the book, but
Yeah. Leto's plan is to just
alright,
make friends.
okay.
It's just make friends, establish lines of communication with the Fremen, because up to right now, nobody knows jack about them.
Right.
The only people who have knowledge about the Fremen are the Harkonnen. They never bothered to really dig deep into that. They just treat them like animals and they shoot at them when they get a chance.
Right. Okay.
So obviously, the Harkonnen baseline is here. Everyone else is automatically above them. But
Sure.
so far, what these two Fremen are alleging is that for at least over a week now, Atreides forces have been sighted opening fire on innocent civilians out in the basin.
Which doesn't make sense to us.
Exactly.
Okay.
And he's just like, or she's just like, this is. We were told that that House Atreides was better than House Harkonnen, that you two were enemies, that your tribes were rivals. We thought that we would do better with you, but that is yet to be seen. It seems. And you see, Duncan nods and maintains eye contact with them, but then kind of side chats Rune with battle language, asking you basically do you need more data, or can you run a computation on this?
What does he want me to computate? There's a lot of
Based on
questions
all-
thrown out.
Yes, based on all the information that we have, what is the most likeliest of scenarios that we're facing right now?
That's what I asked the DM with my once per session question.
This is all coming at a very interesting time.
Hold on. I think we need to come up with a better way to make Tyler do that. I need Tyler to
Agreed.
make an old school Macintosh computing sound.
Boom, bling, bing, bing, bing.
Just dial up.
Tyler, Rune's brain just does that. Just
Stand by. Must reboot for updates.
you
Damn,
you
Mentat
start putting
2.0.
Yeah,
floppy
you
disk
start
pops
putting
out
it
the side of his
together.
head.
You're just kind of like, okay, so there's a saboteur. We find them immediately upon arriving in Arrakis. There's supposedly groups of Atreides soldiers firing on innocent civilians in the basin, but in return, we also have Fremen troopers supposedly shooting down ornithopters, which doesn't make any sense considering the type of armaments that they typically have historically. None of this makes any sense. Need more data. But the prime computation you come up with is that there's some sort of a sabotage or ploy to sabotage the talks between House Atreides and the Fremen. And the most likeliest of culprits, of course, is the Harkonnens. But there is no, despite the fact that the saboteur that you caught recently referenced the Harkonnens and working with them, there have not been any other direct ties to them, or how they're operating, or how exactly they would be able to facilitate Atreides soldiers with Atreides weapons dead out in the desert. Real quick aside to just scene shift over to the infirmary. Doctor, you can give me a Metacurg at a -2. Now things are starting to tax you as you basically got very little to no sleep, and now you're having to do all this other stuff.
Okay.
But you set up in the infirmary and you're scanning the bodies and you're doing what have you. Go ahead and give me a Metacurg roll.
Okay.
I have no doubt.
In the
that
pause.
you'll be,
Thank you, Lord Lycon, for the bits. We love you, bro.
Lycon.
Or ma'am.
Thank you.
Went with bro because of the Lord. If not, I apologize.
Nah, he's cool.
Just thank you, Lord.
2. You got 2. Awesome.
Damn.
So you're able to identify this Atreides soldier as a Harkonnen. This is a Harkonnen in Atreides livery. The question is, how did they get this? Not the uniform you might be able to excuse, but the weaponry, it's a little bit too
It's
Too
too
much.
new.
Very wait.
Yeah.
I wonder if this was some sort of I don't know. This is weird.
Wait a minute.
Never really. Okay.
Sorry.
Also, did I miss it? Did I get an answer to my TM question, or are we waiting for the doctor's thing first?
We're waiting for the doctor thing first.
Okay. Sorry. Carry on, Brock.
Very interesting. It seems. Does it have like any like symbols of some sort, like pertaining to a house or something like that?
Not really. It's more like, he's a very pale looking guy, clean shaven, like shaved like from head to toe, and like there's just like there's something about him like you're just like, oh yeah, this is a Harkonnen, like 100%.
Okay, cool.
All the signs are there, the branding and everything. So yeah,
The heart plug.
the heart plug. Yeah,
That's kind of a dead giveaway.
You're just like, oh yeah, Harkonnen scum. I got it. All right.
No, on the weapons itself, is there like any special like emblem?
Yeah. Yes, there is the hawk crest of House Atreides emblazoned on each one of the weapons. Even the knives are there. It looks like this Atreides soldier was killed in such a way that resembles a knifing. It looks like he got several stab wounds along his torso before he went down.
Very weird. I don't like this at all.
The civilians got cut to ribbons, like I said, with a laser gun. They didn't stand a chance. These are like, just regular people that got open fired on by this Harkonnen animal. And that's what you come up with in your analysis, as it were. Do you report this to the rest of the group upstairs while they're back in the foyer, or do you like?
Yeah, so I'm gonna go. Yeah, I'm gonna go to the group and I'm gonna be like, so I just got back from the infirmary and we got some really weird stuff going on here. So those dead bodies, they weren't fresh from the riot. They were at least 2 or 3 days old, so they were planted there. I don't know why they're there. Another thing is that the weapons were literally like brand new.
See the two Fremen look at each other for a moment.
Collating.
Yeah, now you're starting to computate all the information. It definitely looks like this is a Harkonnen plot of some sort, but it uses a Fremen element to it. Like it's not just the Harkonnens, and that's the real disturbing part, is that they've actually gotten the help of local Fremen. But from what tribe is the question? Something sticks in the back of your mind. Something Nihal said towards the end of her interrogation. Jakurutu. What is that?
I asked the Fremen.
How do you broach that?
I asked them what is the meaning of this word.
You come out of the blue like, what is Jakurutu? And they both
Well, what is the meaning of this word Jakurutu? It's delivered. Wait, they know? Did they know the assassin died?
no.
It was delivered and overheard by a soldier, which is not a lie.
That's true. Yeah. Let's see. And okay, you say that, and they're just kind of like taken aback, like they're just like they both sort of make this at the sound of the word Jakurutu. They both make this sort of symbol, like they go like this, and they put their hands out towards you like that, like almost like a warding gesture. It's like take that name out of your mouth, outsider. And it's like, where did you hear such a thing? And you tell them like you heard it from a soldier.
No, a soldier overheard it when someone attacked it.
Who did this? Who said this?
Maybe we could tell you that once you tell us what it means.
They look at each other warily. Jakurutu is taboo among the Fremen. They were water stealers, a tribe that we had believed had been wiped out for a long time ago. The Dwali. Somebody write that down.
Spell that.
Thank you. In that case, I can tell you that there was an assassin in this. There was an assassin in this very house trying to sabotage and kill our people. When they were uncovered, that was their battle cry.
The cast out here? And they look at each other again and it's like, let us see this.
I look at Duncan.
Saboteur. Duncan nods. He's like, he approves. He's like, let's do it. By all means. Let us. And he's like, we want to be transparent with you. We are not the Harkonnens. We're not like them at all. There's a reason why you know of our rivalry. And he's like, if we are to trust one another, we need to start here right now. You see, they both kind of like, Duncan's not the smoothest of talkers. I mean, he's a brilliant tactician, military mind. He can design all sorts of stuff, but like, he's very just. He's very moral. He's a very moral person, and that's why the Duke chose him to be sort of his ambassador. At times he really truly shines, and he exudes that charisma, but other times he's not like a
He's not a wordsmith.
Exactly.
He could win them over if he would just end every sentence with "my man."
My man.
But he's not a smart man.
But he's my man.
Very well.
He is.
Come with me, and on the way, and I get Jamie to follow me, and along the way, I tell them the story. I tell them the story like impassively, without taking a side. Just facts.
They
No
seem
emotion.
to nod and agree with one another, like, okay, they seem a little more impressed with you than they were before. Very well, outsider. And you see they make their way over to where you keep the body. I'm assuming the infirmary for Nihal.
I think that's where you last, because Dr. Brock was looking at her at some point and we never moved it.
Doing things to
Pull out the slab, and like they have a glance at the look of the body, and they start noticing things about it. You saw some stuff before, like they look like scars, but they're actually sort of like symbols that she had carved into her skin. And as soon as they see that, they make that warding look again, and they're like, "That is the Dwali." And he's like, "A water stealers cast out." And he's like, "Yes, it seems that we share enemies in these times, more than just the Harkonnens. If the cast out are here and operating Arakeen, they would explain why we've received reports of the Atreides attacking us. I suppose the question becomes, how did they manage to do this? And he's like, we were dispatched by our leader, Stilgar, from our siege. He's like, our mission was to make contact with the Atreides in the hopes that we might be able to establish a line of communication, but then these atrocities began happening, and we could not look the other way. We have a means to get back there, but I suspect that you will want to make or organize your things first before we agree to something like this. We believe your words to be sincere, Hamza says. However, we have heard from people outside your walls that you yourselves have taken a Fremen life within your siege. This confirms it. And he's like, we need to bring the water of the dead back to the tribe which it is owed. But in this particular case, she just shakes her head with a grimly. Let's see here.
So the person I killed was from this water stealer tribe. And
Yes.
the information that we've got essentially is that this water stealing tribe seems to have fallen in with Harkonnens,
Yes.
and they're setting up a series of attacks. It looks like the Atreides are committing atrocities against the regular Fremen.
Yep.
That's some old bullshit.
Yeah.
That is some bullshit. But
As we prepare ourselves to follow these Fremen back to this Stilgar, after the Fremen leave, but before we leave the room, I look over to Jamie, I look at the woman, and I say, the look on her face as she died, most disturbing, wouldn't you say? I'm setting you up.
Who do you say that to?
Jamie, because he has something in chat.
Ah.
Most disturbing, that look on her face, wouldn't you say?
I don't have anything in chat.
You have a spooky woo.
Oh.
Oh!
I was like, I don't know. I look to her. I look at her. I'm not sure if it's disturbing, but her expression certainly does give a feeling of spooky woo.
Agreed. And then we leave.
Now, there actually is one thing I want to do before the two Fremen leave.
Yes.
As they're leaving, I'd like to talk to them separately. Just kind of like they're walking this way, we're walking that way, and I'd be like, excuse me.
Yeah, you just sort of appear around the corner as they're leaving, being led out by Duncan, and they're like, "Yes." See, Turok looks at you.
You've spoken a lot of debts and things needing to be paid back where they should be, and lines of communication. I want you to know that these atrocities in the House Atreides, or these atrocities were not done in the name of House Atreides, so I promise you that. And we're working, as we've discussed, to remedy that. And I hope that I believe this might mean something to you, so I want you to have it back. It was found on the body of the one we just examined. And from inside my sleeve, it will slowly, non-threateningly produce the knife.
do the handle first.
And turn it.
Yeah, you present it to them in the best way, slowly, slowest way possible.
In the best non-threatening, politest way possible.
Their eyes go wide, and
as a handler of many knives.
you see instinctively the guy's hand reaches down to his own knife, it's very similar to that on his waist, and the woman grabs his arm for a moment. And it's like, we appreciate your gesture. And she says, and she reaches out, and she takes it with her. You see, Duncan is Duncan and them are talking. Those of you nearby are overhearing what they're saying. You see, Hamza says, "We were sent here on behalf of our siege Tabar. Our Naive will want to know what has occurred here and how we can move forward as allies. We shall see what he has to say before we proceed. Yes?" And he's like, "Of course." We nod. He bows respectfully and he's like, as it is, we have to look closer into this problem that we're having, and we need to put a stop to it, obviously. Rest assured, we'll find the perpetrators that were responsible for this, and we'll bring them justice, Atreides justice. And so they nod, and they make this gesture, and they are walked out of the residency by the security personnel. And with that, Duncan is just like, "Whew, okay. Well, I hope you all got sufficient amounts of rest. We still have a Thopter ride with Iblis out on the tarmac."
Yep, got a full
Now?
5 minutes rest.
Now,
To the tarmac.
5 minutes.
Well, 5
That
minutes.
is
Yeah.
sunshine right here.
This train does not stop for rest. Okay.
Oh my god, really?
Let's see.
Adrenaline.
Some melange tablet in their mouth.
Yeah.
Just syringe. Just.
just inject it straight into your vein.
No, just picking it up straight off the sand.
Before you see, as you guys are preparing to leave, you see the door opens up again and Hazma comes back in, but she seems to be carrying something with her though. Right before you're heading out to the tarmac, and she's like, "I almost forgot." And it's like, "This was part of our gifts," and she says, and she puts one in front of each of you. She's like, "If you're planning on going into the desert, you're going to need a still suit. These are Frem kits. They can aid you in this. Without one, you will not survive long out in the open desert. You may have come from a place where water is plentiful, but you should not take it for granted. Here, water is life." And with that, she kind of turns back around and joins Turok on their way out.
Wow.
And now you're on your own to figure out how to put on a still suit. Make sure that it works sufficiently.
How does this work? And Doctor's like, oh.
I use my ability to substitute intellect for any other attribute to figure this out.
Where,
Go
like-
for it.
where does this tube go?
Does it go in my mouth? And you see him put it in his mouth like,
Want me to actually roll it?
Sure.
What am I rolling to don the suit? What's the skill?
Mystic powers. This is your computation skill. Just try to
can I?
Not if not, you can blow a fortune point on it and get an automatic critical success if you want to do that.
I got a question. Could
Yeah.
I do a technology roll on this one to see if I could figure it out?
Yeah, I'll allow it. Sure.
Yeah, I'll use a fortune point. I have many.
Excellent. All right. Yeah, you instantly you kind of look at everything for a moment, take a couple minutes to just observe and see how other people put it on wrong. You're like, oh, I got it. And you start putting it on, no problem. All right, you're fitted for desert fashion, deep south desert still suit. You're ready to go. You see,
And then I help Jamie.
and then I was gonna say you could actually help somebody else put theirs on. So yeah, you all get your
Thank you.
your still suits
I'm
outfitted.
I'm like, no. This one goes in your mouth. This one goes look down. Yeah.
I see.
I'm going to just vanish for a moment and find the Fremen and quickly, using the voice, ask them how to wear
Oh
it.
God. Wow. Cavalier much.
Jesus.
Hey,
You see,
nobody
Abelard
else is going to know.
As you guys are making your way out to
Use
the
the voice to
the
order
airfield,
lunch.
Yes.
pizza immediately. Order in. As you're making your way to the tarmac, you see Iblis is there howdy folks, alright, is everybody ready to get on a boat and head out to the deep desert? Alright, I'll be a pilot this afternoon, you guys are late!
Hey, wow. You are the energetic one I can see.
Iblis,
I
of
want
course,
one.
is
Yes.
the longtime smuggler, the dirty smuggler that you guys met here not too long ago. He's going to be flying one of the many ornithopters that you're going to take into the deep desert where these atrocities were taking place, where supposedly the Fremen had shot down several Atreides flights over the open desert past the shield wall, about 5 clicks south of it, to be exact. So he's like, yeah, we're going to go over the shield wall, we're going to head out there, we're going to excavate the area, we're going to make sure we can find whatever we need to find out there, find out what's going on. I missed the whole meeting this morning, so I missed all the excitement. What can I say? But if everybody's ready to go ahead and pick a bird. You see, there's several ornithopters set up. Duncan's like, I'm in this one. He jumps in.
I pick one and I climb in the pilot seat.
You climb in the pilot seat. Balls.
Do the same thing I did
Ballsy,
last
okay.
session to
You're
download
just
how
like-
to fly an ornithopter. Yeah.
I'm going
Oh, yeah, I
to
got
sit behind him.
So, okay, the Bene Gesserit and the Mentat are going in the same ornithopter. It can fit about 4 people, okay? Each ornithopter has, like, a gun placement on the bottom that could just fire laser gun blasts as necessary. So somebody can, handle those controls, presumably. Otherwise, you have a pilot and a co-pilot, and then you have 2 people in the back. There could be more room made in the back, but you have to get rid of seats and things in the back. But so you can fit about 4 people per ornithopter. Iblis is flying one of the Ornies. Duncan is an ace pilot, as most people in the House Atreides have some ranks of some or another in piloting. So he's piloting another ornithopter. Rune appears to be piloting one as well. So you've got 3 pilots. You have your pick of the litter, so to speak, as to who to join for the ride over into the deep desert.
I'm gonna just go in. I'm just gonna jump in one, and more or less the one with everyone in there. So, like, I'm just gonna sit in the back where everyone is.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah.
You guys have a couple of minutes while Iblis conducts the pre-flight check. Basically just checking to make sure everything's working sufficiently. He's like, all right, everybody hear me on the comm over here? All right, Central, can you hear me? All right. In the meantime, Devin, I would love for you to play Iblis while he's doing the pre-flight check and just the banter going back and forth for just a moment.
Iblis is that voice that you're doing.
Yes, the smuggler.
All right then. Pre-flight check. We just gonna go and look at all this stuff right now. We just got to make sure we got fuel. Fuel. Yep, we definitely got some of that. Oh.
You only
Check all your seatbelts because last time we had somebody do a loop-de-loop and they ended up on the ceiling. So please double check that because that costs a couple of broken arms. It's not very fun.
I know that you're a perfectly capable pilot, and there's been a lot of intelligence done.
Of course
in
I
regards
am.
to this. I just do wish to remind everybody that there have been attacks on our transports, and I'd enjoy to not get shot out of the sky this morning.
No worries.
Speaking of
about
shooting,
that.
Jamie, I could use a gunner in this one.
Wonderful. I like a guy that prioritizes safety on these dangerous contraptions. I can fix it like the back of my hand, but yeah, I just really hope we have a good pilot that can not crash us. That would be really nice.
If you don't get a gunner, then I'll just take the gunner spot
I'll
for you, Tyler.
I'll take the. I was gonna say, like, I've not door gunned in quite a while, but I assume it's a skill one never loses.
So, Iblis,
Righto.
what was your most exciting crash?
Oh.
As I tell everyone behind me, including Dr. Brock, the easily panicked, I've never flown one of these before.
Well,
What?
I gotta say, the favorite time I crashed was when I was staring right at the sun, just like that.
I
And
think
then, oh wait, where did everything go? Oh, I did it again. Oh,
want to know something? Can you let me drive? I'm not.
oh no, mate, I cannot let you drive because you're licensed.
Just go. You cry.
Don't worry about it, it'll be fine. You're a
I don't
doctor.
think so.
If I go blind again, then you can just tell me what to do.
What? I don't want you to go blind. No.
Don't worry, that only happens every other trip.
Oh, what? No. What makes you think the trip is gonna happen? I don't want to die. No. Let me drive, please. Please. Let me
Devin,
drive.
This is all in my ornithopter, by the way, so we know.
Devin, you get a fortune point, Devin. Thank you for that. That was good.
Oh, thank you, mate.
Oh my god.
Oh, it's a beauty.
So I've got
Rocky.
Jamie and the Bene Gesserit.
Alex.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So you guys each pile into a different ornithopter, I imagine. So I think if I remember correctly, it's Rune and the Bene Gesserit in one.
I have Jamie as my gunner.
Ah, okay. So
Brock is with soon to crash.
Thanks. The soon departed.
Brock is
And
with
I don't think
Iblis.
Tim said where he is at yet. Only our sword master is.
I don't think I fit in with Rune and how many people fit in this thing? 4?
He's Iblis as an aside.
Four.
Like, that guy's don't worry about it, mate. You're in good hands. That guy's a bit of a square anyway.
I'm gonna go with the square. Thank you.
Oi! All
So
right.
I just ditched the doctor and Iblis on one.
So Iblis and the Doctor are in one. Okay. And Aramis is with Mona and the others, and Jamie's there. Okay, so I guess that handles it. So I guess
Strength in
Duncan
numbers.
and Iblis are in the same ornithopter just to save time, and then the rest of you guys are in your own ornithopter that Rune is piloting. That makes sense. So then, yeah, it's just you two, those two, and then like two other like spotter ornithopters that are just have Atreides troopers in it. Okay, so yeah, you guys start taking off, and they form the wing of the aerial flight that's going to go over the shield wall. Go ahead and play the portal track for me if you get a chance, Steve.
I don't control this music.
Oh, you don't?
On it.
I just do the volume.
Oh. I got you. All right, cool. No worries.
It's me doing it. I got it.
Thank you, sir.
It's a team effort.
So many buttons and levers.
Yeah, so you see, you know, the ornithopters get ready to fly, and like insects, almost like dragonflies, they take off into the air, like the wings fluttering, and like the jet propellers going off, like guys take off into the air, flying high over the city of Arakeen and out into the desert. You see the enormous sized harvester factories making a line, getting ready to go back out first thing in the morning with their spotter crews and the carryalls that will take them to the deep areas of the desert where they're going to begin the spice mining for the day. Iblis makes comm chatter over the comm while you guys are flying, like, check in, spotter 1, spotter 2. This is Iblis aboard the Caladan Seas here in the air. I think we've got a spotter sign up there. Can you confirm? Spotter 1, yes. There's spice operation activities taking place just over the rim wall. Things are confirmed. And, like, there's like a plume of like what seems to be like yellow smoke coming up in the distance, unmistakable as you're approaching the shield wall. And then finally, this massive natural rock structure. You fly above it, and below that is like a never-ending desert in every direction you look. And the heat, of course, is instantly oppressive. With the still suits on, you actually kind of feel less affected by it for some reason. You're still sweating and stuff, but it seems that the sweat almost seems to evaporate almost immediately. Like, it gets absorbed into the suit itself. And as you progress, you kind of start to realize like why the Fremen have been using this for so long. The real question is, like, how is it that they're manufacturing these things? Everybody has this image of them as like these crazy savages that live in the rocks out somewhere, and they have knives and that's it. But it's like these people are way more sophisticated than what anybody else has thought of so far, and that seems to be evident just in the way that they've incorporated this suit into their everyday lives. When you fly over the shield wall, you start coming in close, and you see Iblis like, we're about 2 clicks away right now from the last known location, according to Security Commander Wu, or Spooky Wu, as he's known among the Atreides soldiers. We're coming upon the location right now where the last of the Atreides birds were shot down over those rocks right over there. You see it? You see that there's like these, there's a set of like rocks that jut out of the ground, forming like a sort of a valley that twists and kind of turns. And as you guys are flying in, you see nothing, just sand and rocks. And it's like, well, I thought it was here. Can you, Spotter 3, can you double check that for me? I thought that we were in the right place. Is this not the coordinates I'm sending you now? And he's like punching in numbers into the coordinates for the communicator. No, that's correct. That's correct, Captain. We're in the right position. This is exactly where the last reports seemed to put those ornithopters as they were shut down over the desert. We're exactly where we need to be. And he's like, well, blimey, I can't see a damn thing out here.
Can I try to make an observation to see if the sand
Yes.
has blown over so much that it's buried the crash site?
Yes, everybody who wants to take a look for themselves can go ahead and make an observation check.
Sure.
Okay, that's what I'll do.
We should go in order. We'll
Yeah,
have
yeah.
Jamie go first.
Yeah, I was gonna say we need to slow down so people can actually see the rolls. So Mona, go ahead and do your delayed roll.
With 1.
Okay. Doctor,
Doctor.
Oh my god.
Aramis.
Got it with 1, Mona? Damn.
I got 1.
Ooh, nice.
Hey! All right, Aramis.
Christ.
Nice.
Look at
I'll
my
do-
dice roll. That
I'll do mine
everybody-
last. Steve, you go.
Okay. 2
Two.
successes for Jamie.
Okay.
You guys are on 1 point. All
And
right.
Nothing for me, so Jamie wins.
Huh.
Oh my god.
You all notice that there's definitely some debris lying around the sands in between the these 2 massive rock structures off to each side, but there's nothing. There's no physical stuff there, and you think maybe it's just below the sand or what have you. Nothing though. As the sand's below with the wind, like you don't see anything being revealed there. But Jamie looks off to the side away from the sand, and you actually see something kind of glinting in the sunlight. It's not glass, it's metal. And when you look closer, you're like, I found him. And you start pointing off to the side. Everybody looks. There's a crashed ornithopter, or what's left of one, all crumpled up together like in pieces. In one side where there's a large open bed of rock. So it looks like, from whatever happened, one of the ornithopters from the sortie crash landed onto the rocks themselves. Everything else that's on the sand is gone. You see
Out of
Iblis is
character.
just like, huh, yeah.
Do we know about sandworms yet?
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, for weeks they've been taking pot shots at your birds here, and for a long time they were just hitting duds. This last time they got the bullseye all right. 3 thopters and 1 go. Bloody shame is what it is. Part of a spotter crew from the looks of it, he says, as he's like confirming what Jamie's pointing out. Probably coming back from spy spawning out beyond the shield wall. I suppose we should take it down, Commander? And you see Idaho's like, yeah, let's take her down, take a closer look. And he's like, what do you suppose happened to the rest of the ornithopters? I only see 1 here. And he looks over to him, and with his one good eye, he kind of winks. He's like, sandworms, my lord, sandworms. And see, eventually, like, the flights are coming down, like, land securely onto the rock. And as the doors open up, like, the instant heat hits you right away, and, like, sand blows into your eyes, and you're having to, like, shield your face with your hand. It looks like, and Iblis steps out, he's like, there might be a storm coming this way, not in near future. We might want to put it in gear here, gentlemen.
When he says that, I want to pull the scarf from my waistband, and I'll actually tie it over my mouth and
Smart.
nose.
Yes, excellent. Most of these still suits actually come with the mouth guards, but it's not unless you've had practice with it, or you rolled extremely well on technology and how to put it together. Yeah, it's probably difficult to figure out, like, where does this thing clip on, and
Scarf
like
seems easier.
scarf is easier, no problems. All right, so yeah, you guys head out onto the bed of the rocks to kind of take a look. There appears to be just a mangle of blood and twisted metal. There is evidence immediately of fire. This thing burst into flames as or once upon the point that it actually collided with the ground. Anybody here who has ranged combat can give me a roll, or you can give me observation, or even, I think, technology.
Oh wow. Okay.
I have none of that.
I'll do observation.
That's all right.
I'll do technology.
Team effort.
I'll
You
do
go ahead,
some-
Jared. You go ahead, Doctor.
Well, thank you.
The other ornithopters are circling in the air overhead, just kind of VTOLing it and just kind of like circling like vultures
I'll do.
and keeping in contact with you guys via comms.
Very
do
nice,
observation,
Doctor, with a
just
2.
Thank you.
Hey, all right.
I'll help
I
out.
know my machine.
Green with a 0, unfortunately.
It's all right.
Oh,
You're looking at the crash site, Doctor. You're like, you put your goggles on. You're like messing with the settings and stuff. It's like, oh yes. You notice the very obvious telltale signs of laser gun use on the chassis of the ornithopter itself. Somebody took a cutter or a cutter ray or something and just like just opened a whole facade off the side of the ornithopter.
I think
No signs of bodies.
Whoa. Looks like someone wanted to cover their tracks because this is definitely something like a cutter that went through this to get into the actual ornithopter. And there are no signs of bodies, so must have been someone must have wanted to clean up their tracks. That's my conclusion right here.
Anybody have ranged combat that they would like to roll?
I could.
I mean, yeah, I can roll it just to roll it.
I'm
Sure.
not good at it. But
shot.
I'll roll
We
it.
should,
Yeah.
we should pick one person to make the roll, whoever has the best one, probably, instead of us all.
I've only got
In lieu of that, you
four,
can roll observation as well.
I have 0 in
I
that
have
too.
an observation.
I'm gonna only have whatever attribute contributes to it.
Well, when I rolled observation, I only got a 1, so.
Decent. That's enough to succeed. You got something out of that. All right. You're peering into the wreckage, and you notice the same thing the Doctor sees: no bodies. And you also see like streaks of blood leading out from the crash site. And the more you look in, though, you notice something else instead. Something also just kind of hidden inside there. It looks like they actually left stuff in here. They didn't, like, whoever cut this thing open and took the bodies out didn't bother to take anything from the inside of the ornithopter.
So what all was left?
Exactly. You notice that the bodies and the weapons were taken. Like the troopers that were on board with laser guns and stuff, all that stuff got taken. But everything else is still inside, is still intact, for as far as intact as this thing could be. I mean, the thing crashed and burst into flames. It's seemingly a lost wreck. Anybody who has technology may roll it, or if you want to roll, or if you don't have that, you could just roll wits alternately.
My wits is bad.
I have something at least, so.
No matter.
All right, Doctor.
Actually, I got a question.
Dr. Branch.
Mm-hmm.
Brack.
Alright, so, sorry, the skills is your main attribute plus the skill attribute, correct?
The sheet does all that for you, yes.
Okay. Yeah, I'm sorry. Then I'm gonna roll tech just to ignore that other one.
What was your question?
Hey, you got
Jamie?
one on technology. Nice.
Oh no, I was just gonna say like.
Oh.
Yeah, just exactly what we just did. Cool.
You're not an aeronautical genius or anything, Dr. Brock, but you do know that the Atreides and their ornithopters, they take very great pride in the fact that they command the skies. Their ornithopters are outfitted with controller boxes inside that, in the event of a crash, they can be recovered and analyzed for information.
Well, boys, I think there is some sort of controller box in here. I'm not very bright on this, on the ornithopters themselves, but I also know the manufacturers take very great pride in them. So there's actually a control box somewhere in here that we can find that has some information of maybe what happened to this ornithopter, so on and so forth. So, would I know exactly where that's at?
Probably not, but these guys probably would, though.
Okay. So I asked him, would you happen to know where this control box would be?
Duncan's like, I think I know. Here, Doctor, come with me. You gotta bring your cutter ray with you, please.
Will do, and I'll bring my my cutlery.
He's like, focus your attention right here, and he starts pointing out different areas on the aircraft. And Elvis like, oh yeah, you looking for the black box? Yeah, that'll be right in that area right there.
Okay.
And you see, he starts you start cutting a hole into the side of the facade of this thing, and you start reaching in, and you see that the insides of these things are 100% cooked, but that little black box is intact. That thing's tougher as hell, and he reaches in, wrenches it out, and he's like, Rune, we're gonna need to take a look at this back at the residency.
Okay.
Tosses it to you.
Thank you. Thank you
I
so
put it away.
Good job, Doctor. All right. Did anybody get any hits with the either ranged combat or observation?
Yeah, somebody got 2.
Yeah.
Linux, I think.
No, Doctor.
Oh, excellent.
Doctor got 2. I got 1.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mona got 1 observation. Doctor got 2 on technology.
Yeah.
Excellent. Okay. You know that looking at the way that the ornithopter was damaged, ultimately you also find just through sheer observation, you're looking around at the rock face that it's presumably crashed against. There's evidence of impact there as well. So it looks like a lot of impact. It looks like something got blasted off the side of the rock wall, and it managed to hit. The same thing that hit that also hit the ornithopter and caused it to crash. When you look closely, you're just like, that's not a lasgun. Doesn't do that. It doesn't cause that effect. And you see one of the Duncan looks at it closer and he's like, yeah, they used a lasgun or a cutter ray to cut their way inside the ornithopter after it crashed. But this out here, he says, and he looks at the different areas on the rock wall, is like, that's missile damage. It's like looking at this here and the way that like part of it was contorted and destroyed. It's like no lasgun does that to an ornithopter. These Fremen are using rockets of some kind. That's highly unusual.
And I want to know who's supplying those rockets.
No doubt it's the Harkonnens.
The sick bastards over there.
Yeah, they must have used that to shoot down the sorties in the first place. And like Iblis said, the worms got the rest. Alright, let's pack everything up. Else, here, head back to the residency. I think we're done here for the moment.
Agreed. And on the helicopter...
I'd like to do something first.
Sure.
This might have been what you were trying to do with range combat, but I'd like to look around and kind of like examine the terrain and examine where this thing crashed and see if I can use any sort of like knowledge of take my own ambushing kind of tactics and knowledge and expand it to a macro level and see if I can figure out where the best place to take this shot would have been from.
Battle tactics.
Yeah, see if I can do that.
You know who else can help you with that? The Mentat.
The Mentat. So I go to my buddy, Rune, and I explain that to him in our super cool way of talking.
What is it you want me to do for you? Like,
figure out where they've been attacking.
I wanted, since we're here and we're not going to have the opportunity to just examine this place once we leave, I want to see if we can't kind of reverse engineer where the ambush came from and see if we can pinpoint where they're setting up shots from and then maybe track them back to where they go from there. Like,
on it.
Yeah, like use the terrain, use what's around us right now and figure out where they set up their attacks from. Do something good.
You could probably...
2 successes.
Woo!
Oh, yeah, there it is.
Yes,
all right.
Yes.
So yeah, the way that this looks, it appears as if they were set up on either side of the valley. So they had emplacement on both sides, and you see the spotter crew. When you mentioned that to Idaho, he asked the spotter crew to check the other side of the valley, where there was no subsequent crash, and they're like, yeah, we see evidence of this over here as well. It looks like they basically caught these guys in a crossfire. Everything dropped to the ground. Worms covered the rest, and somebody else came in and actually took these guys out of the ornithopter. The question is, how did they get away? You see Iblis is looking around. He's like, oh, well, let me take a look around here, gents. I think I found your tracks out here. He like goes over and he sees like there's several scorch marks, it seems like, nearby from where you guys landed. It's enough, so it's sufficient space to house at least 2 or 3 ornithopters at a time. Whoever took those bodies were also landing their own air gear here. They had air cover of some sort themselves, so this was a planned ambush. They knew exactly where the Atreides sorties were coming from.
The ambush and the insurgents, for lack of a better term, have air cover?
Well then.
This gets better and better each minute.
Yeah, boy to the task.
Yes. You see, he's like, well, that's a lot to digest. Let's get everything back to the residency. We'll see if we can analyze this and see what next step we need to take before we go anywhere else. It's like, obviously we have more than one enemy to face here. With that, like, Duncan jumps into the ornithopter with Iblis, and the rest of you, get back into your stuff, and you start heading back to the residency. Is there anything anybody else does before you guys head back? Do or say?
I would basically go to the copter, Anyways, I go to the copter and I like to talk. I talk to everyone and I say, when we get back, I would like to show you where I saw. I'd like to show you guys where I saw the meetup with that spy that we had. There's a warehouse inside the city. I don't know what's in it, but it's definitely something we should look at.
Duncan calls in over the comm, and he's like, yeah, it seems that we have Dr. Brax has some information that we could use, potentially. And he's like, let's keep radio silence until we get back. These Harkonnens were using the communication channels, or must have been monitoring the communication channels on some level to be able, or they had foreknowledge of where we were going to be at all times. So let's keep radio chatter down to a minimum until we get back to the residency. We need to use what intel we have and crack down on this cell before they do any more damage.
10-4.
It's a quiet flight the rest of the way back to Arakeen. You see the storm that Iblis was talking about rolling in just as planned. It looks to be sweeping over the open bled before it'll probably reach that area that you were just in a couple of hours. So yeah, that's why he was just like, I'm checking my timepiece. You guys hurry up. As you head back, you guys land on the airfield, and you see Idaho gets out and it's like, all right, who's with me? And it's like, we're gonna need to make a makeshift ready room, discuss plans.
Agreed.
Meet me there in 15 minutes. He starts heading inside the residency. Is there anything you guys want to do once you land before you head to this meeting?
Actually, well, would we? Quick question on that part. Would we be checking the control box during the meeting and all that good stuff, or like anything that's relative to the crash during the meeting, or?
It's up to you. You don't have. He didn't give you any specific commands outside of that. He just said, like, yeah, I'm gonna go to the the banquet hall or wherever to hold like this impromptu meeting and just kind of discuss plans. And he actually has some things that he wants you guys to do from here on out, or intelligence to act on, as it were.
Okay. Then not right now. Not that I know of.
Okay. All right, so you guys head inside, and you see Idaho is just like, all right, first things first. He brings in Commander Wu, and he's like, are these secure? And he points to the communications equipment in the banquet hall. And he's like, my lord? And he's like, we need to be sure that our information is not getting out. Is this equipment secure here? I would imagine so, sir, yes. And he's like, all right. And he's like, shut it off for right now. Very well. He shuts off all the communication equipment, and he's like, "You can move it to the other area for right now, but we need to establish this meeting right now." He brings everybody, shuts the doors, sends out the waiting staff. The elder woman, who the second in charge of the household staff, Saha, is there, and she's like, Is there what is going on? What is happening? There's been a lot of commotion this morning. And you see he's just like, it's all right. It's like, we have a lot to deal with right now. We met with the Fremen already. He's like, but we have some other things that we need to cover first, and we can't really discuss these things with anybody. Is there something that you needed to talk to me about? When he says that, they're just kind of talking at the doorway before he waits for everybody to come inside and shuts the door. Anything else? Okay. 1 second. You see, he's like, all right. He dismisses her, shuts the door once everybody gets back inside, and it's like, all right. I believe the doctor has some intelligence that he gathered the other day regarding the spy, the saboteur that we caught. And he's like, some sort of a warehouse in Arakeen. Is this? Am I understanding this correctly?
Yes. So, what we did is, me and the 12-year-old boy, I was able to talk to the 12-year-old boy. And I did coax him out of some information. Apparently, he knew the spy's secret. And apparently, she was meeting up in downtown Arcanus. And
Arakeen, huh?
Arcane. And apparently, there's a warehouse down there that she was meeting up with some thugs. They look like to be, like you guessed it, Harkonnen, so I think...
Actually, one correction, they were 2 Fremen, what you said.
Oh, sorry. I apologize. Anyways, there were two Fremen guarding the way. So there's definitely some corruption on both sides either way, and I think that would be our next move.
We can raid it. He says very casually, he's like, got more than enough troops, we can cordon off the street, raid the warehouse, apprehend everybody inside, bring them in for questioning, etc.
Can I make any sort of check that would... Basically, I want to try to see if, at this point, with the things that have happened at the gate, the knowledge that the death of the person inside the palace, if I was running a secret warehouse full of Atreides weapons that were planting on bodies to stir up civil unrest, that place is going to be cleared out by now, right?
It's a pretty good possibility now that their spy's dead. If it's been, that information got out, then yeah, probably. Or if she missed a dead drop somewhere,
right.
Yeah, probably. They're probably long gone.
Then
it's not at the top of his priority. He's just like, yeah, whatever. Like, okay, that's cool, but we got bigger fish to fry. We got people shooting down our planes out in the desert. Like, we need to find them right away.
But that also does seem like the perfect place where they would be able to store these weapons and use that to run.
Potentially, yes, or communicate with their agents outside. Yeah, this all seems to be very much coordinated in the way that they wanted to sabotage talks and to create chaos and discord among the between the Fremen and the Atreides. So it's up to you to develop a plan, like how exactly you want to tackle this, or if there's any leads that you want to follow precisely to apprehend these guys. You could use other means. You just retrieved the black box that's on board the ornithopter. If anybody with science or technology can disseminate the information that's contained inside, we can have the Atreides.
Oh, I've got that, and I'm doing that once we're in the meeting.
Okay, excellent. Yeah. So yeah, you can make a tech or science roll to figure out what information, if any, is on that black box that can be utilized to
zeroing in. Critical success.
Bam! There it is. Okay. Let's see. You see that. Let me see. The black boxes. There's chatter. Yeah, you see that as you're observing the history. Like you could basically hook this up in with a projector and just put on, like, you can. Put it on a speaker, or to keep it secret, you could outfit everybody with headphones so that tune into that channel, and you could all hear what was being played through the conversation of the entire flight, including all the other incoming and outgoing chatter. As you're hearing them go over the pre-flight plan and stuff on the way back, there's disturbances in the way that the audio is coming in. And when you amplify it and subdue everything else, it's battle language. and you immediately recognize it as Harkonnen battle language. They're utilizing your own channel frequency to communicate with one another from between Arakeen and the open desert. Let's see. They also find out as far as what they're actually getting across. You figure out that the information that they're relaying to their agents is the actual trajectory of the flight path. So they know exactly where the planes are going and when they're going to come back. And that's what they do, is that they wait until the spice mining crew goes out. They acquire the spice, and on their way back, they shoot them down. That much you're able to get from the information that's stored inside the black box.
Can we officially classify that under rude?
Rude? Yes, sure. Yeah. So it doesn't appear that it doesn't appear that they have anything bugged in the communications equipment that you have in the palace, but you especially the Mentat, using your computation, you probably figure out, like, okay, you put two and two together, like they had a spy inside the house who was here before the Atreides showed up. They know that the palace inside and out. They were able to secure a way for the Harkonnens to be able to tap into the frequencies that the Atreides were using to communicate with their troops outside. So that way they were able to better coordinate their action. Let's see here. There's more. As this is happening, you see Duncan is there, and he's just like, so what happened to all these other people that you communicated with, Doctor? You said that there was a 12-year-old boy, and then like there's like a pounding on the door, and some of he kind of turns for a second, and you hear some of the Atreides guards rush to the front door, and they check it, and one of them comes away with what appears to be like some sort of like a device that has like an audio player of some sort. It's like a small little like one-way message thing. And he's like, and immediately Duncan stands up and he's like, "Oh, hold on, we have to check this out first, sir. We'll be with you in just a moment." They're kind of like looking it over and examining it away from the foyer and away from where you guys are operating out of. Eventually, after some time, they come back, and it's like or at least it looks like a small like device of some kind, but it's actually just a container. It's a small box, and when they open it up, they reveal what's inside, because they opened it outside just to check it for any issues. And it's like somebody delivered this, and he kind of like hands it over to Idaho, and he looks at him and he's like, "Did you grab the messenger?" And it's like, "Yes." He's like, our men are outside with them right now. "Who is it?" It's some kid, some Fremen kid. He brought this box. And it's like, "What does it say?" And he's like, "I don't know, my lord. I don't speak their language." And he like takes out a like what seems to be like a parchment. Like, this is very odd. Like, you don't see this very often, but it is a piece of paper. And when he unfurls it, it smells of cinnamon, like a spice fiber. And he's just like, "Huh." When he shows you this message, and he like, puts it in front of all of you, like to kind of like look over and examine. And he's like, "This is an invitation to a siege," he says. And he's like, it says that it's signed by Stilgar. He says, and he's just kind of like,
"Yes, we were invited by the Fremen when we shared information with them openly. They claim to have much knowledge about this outcast tribe who's causing us all these problems. We should attend."
Definitely agree. The more information, the better.
Yes, at this point, we just need to identify the location of this tribe and neutralize them.
Neutralize the enemies. He kind of like raises his eyebrows when you say that. It's like, well, we need to do something, that's for sure. Iblis, you up for another flight out into the open desert? Or we should hope we hold off until tomorrow? Well, the whirlybirds need fueling, I think. But otherwise, I'm your man. If you need to get back out in the desert, I'll fly you there. He takes a poll among the majority of you. Like, did you want to, like...
No.
Basically, he's just like, I don't know if this is a good idea right now.
Now
We just came in from the desert. Should probably maybe wait until tomorrow.
we have no time to wait.
Agreed. No time. We have to finish this.
Mona, did you want to offer, or Aramis, did you want to offer something to the Atreides commander? Anything you want to mention?
The
or
faster
say?
we go, the faster they fall.
He looks at you and he's just like, you must be one of Lady Jessica's people. No?
Believe what you will.
Oh, believe me, I will. It's like, if you're gonna be helping us, I suppose that you should be included as well. Enough with the costume change, he says. Enough with the masquerades. It's like, I need to know who you are first.
The masquerade has long since ended, or I would not be standing here in this garb.
That much is true. He can't deny that. He's just kind of like, okay.
Fuck.
Wow.
He's like, all right.
The interaction.
Let's. What's that?
I was like, that is the most awareness we've gotten out of her all the time we've been here. Weird. It's like she's never here.
All right, settle up then. Let's find out. Let's find out where these hostile Fremen are operating from. Let's put an end to this once and for all. What do you
Great.
got?
Let's get her done.
Is anybody remaining behind in the residency to do anything else in particular, or is everybody gearing back up to go back out into the desert?
No, I'm totally down for going out to the desert at this point.
Okay.
That's where
Like I got my sword ready. It's polished and shiny.
You're ready to go.
Yeah.
I gotta
Are you
save
taking
my melange supply.
I'm just let's go.
For me, the reason why I do want to press this and actually, like, I don't want to do the waiting game is we have to assume that the information's out there already, and if they are this well organized, they've got plans in place, and they'll be gone probably by the morning. So we have to press this while we can and figure
While
out
it's
where
still
they
hot,
are.
yeah.
Strike
Agreed.
while the iron is hot.
Exactly.
Duncan nods in your assessment of it, and he's just like, "Yeah, let's do it." You guys, I'm assuming you guys stick to the same sort of
Yeah, we're gonna stick to the same seats in our
seating
flights.
order. Okay,
Yep.
very cool. All right.
Great.
Oh, we have assigned seats. Oh, lame.
We do have assigned seats. Iblis and the doctor always go together.
Yes. So you've got 2 main ornithopters, and you have 2 other ornithopter wings that are going with you as escort. It's a big entourage of Atreides going out into the desert, so you guys are heading out as such. And you guys load up, and they start. You guys take off back into the air. You're getting the hang of the still suit now. You're understanding why it's used in this manner. And as you're flying out over the desert, they start going. Iblis starts going over the coordinates. Like, are you sure these are the right coordinates? This is a piece of rock somewhere. And Idaho chimes back in. It's like, it's a siege, what the Fremens call their home. These guys don't live underneath the sand. It's 350 degrees on the ground. He's like, oh right, yeah, of course. And he's like, I think I've heard of Siege Tabar actually. All right. Go ahead.
How experienced of a pilot are you again? This is twice now we've told you to go to a location and your response is this it?
I told you should have.
It's not my fault. The Rackus worms to cover up the tracks of whoever goes out there. You don't want to be outside of an ornithopter in the desert, mate. Let me just tell you that right now. The Fremen call that one Shy Halud.
Better. Let's do this.
You guys fly back out over the shield wall, back into the open bled. Let's see.
Now, but by this time, have we figured out how to use the little mash part on our still suits?
Probably, yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Actually, the one person who knows for sure how to do it is Iblis. You see him; he's been here for years. He knows how to use it for sure. So you kind of take tips from him, like, oh yeah, you want to slide it this way, and you don't want to tuck this away. That's the catch tube at your neck. That's why you sip out your reclaimed waters.
Huh.
Wow. Okay.
You see, as you're heading out, you see there's actual comm chatter now, like cross chatter on the communications board. And you see it was like, oi, listen up, listen to this. And he starts like tuning into that channel, and you hear more of that same crosstalk that you heard before back in the residency room. It's that same Harkonnen battle language. They're active currently. They're sending each other information.
This thing doesn't come with like a minigun or bombs or anything, does it?
If you missed it, there's just one. There's one laser gun emplacement that has like a 360 rotation on the bottom that you can control. So it's like you can just like blast whatever
Yeah, but
it
this thing
is
doesn't
out
come with like a thermonuclear device by any chance. Does no? Oh damn.
No,
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 just
no
shoot a
nuking them
las
from
gun
orbit.
at just shoot a las gun at a shield.
Yeah, that'll give you your nuke, and you'll probably kill you as well. There's no doubt about it. You see, there's another communication though. You see one of the other ornithopter wings as you're flying close to the same location. You see that the location that they gave you is out in this place that Iblis apparently has never seen before. He's like, well, this is new. Check this out. And as you guys are approaching, you see it's actually a large building that's built on the side, into the side of this large facade, this large rock face. It actually has, it's very dusty and it's hard to see, but as you're coming in closer, you start seeing that it actually has the emblem of the Imperial House of Corino on it. And you're like, what the shit is this? And you're like, it's a building that's built into the rock. It's an official building that belongs to House Corino out in the desert, like sitting on the rock. You're all kind of perplexed by it. You're like, that's the one thing you didn't expect to see. And then, Jamie, you remembered something that you overheard Glados speak of before you even got sent here. That the Emperor has dozens or more storehouses full of spice and equipment sitting out on the sands of Arrakis, and not too many people know all of their locations, except for perhaps the planetologist, which you've yet to meet. And you see Iblis is just like, oh, that looks like a storehouse there. That's a big one. Yeah. Oh, wow. Huh. Looks like our friend Stilgar's in the rolling in the spice. All right. Let's see if we can find a place to set it down. Everybody give me observation rolls, please.
Okie doke.
All right.
Remember, one at a time.
Yep.
Dr. Brock.
Who goes? You want me to go first, or?
Yeah, that's fine.
Go ahead.
Okay.
Go for it.
Boom. One.
You got one. Nice. All
We're
right.
rolling like crap today, but.
That's not bad at all. No, you got a success. It's not easy to do. Even on 7 dice, it's not entirely likely.
Swordmaster.
Oh, all right. I guess I'll go. None.
Nothing. No.
Actually, I got a question for you. Could I use my
Oh, your special ability, your special talent? You can if you want to. You want to get a critical success as opposed to a regular success?
So what exactly would we be finding out if we did get a?
Oh, I'm not going to tell you
Well,
that.
I know that, but like I guess what's the concept of like? Are we just finding out like the history of the buildings, or?
No, that's not it at all. There's something else happening here. Observation successful would reveal one aspect of what you will reveal, and a critical success will reveal a lot more.
Yeah, I'll do a crit success on this one.
Oh dang! So he stops the check train for a second. He's just like, you don't know if it's just like you just happen to be looking in that direction, or the glint from the sun caught your eye in the wrong way and you have to like look away. But you see something flashing on the console of the ornithopter that you're on, and it's like it's an incoming message. But nobody's paying attention to it because they're looking at the building and they're getting ready to set the thopter down, as it were. But there's like a lot of cross chatter suddenly, and there's like this flashing light on the console of the ornithopter. What do you want to do?
Oh my gosh! Wait! Before we do anything,
You want to push the button?
I don't want to press the button.
You want to press the button. You lean
And I
forward.
jump over everybody. And I
Click.
go, "Ah!"
He leans over everybody as you're concentrating on doing something else, and he goes clack, and you hear it opens a channel to another aircraft in the area on this frequency. that the other guys are not aware of yet. But you see that as soon as you hit that, you hear a familiar voice kind of cutting in over the static, like, get out of there! You gotta get out! And you see one of the wings that are with you. It's like, sir, we have a ornithopter. No, we have several ornithopter approaching. What are your commands? You see Duncan's like, where? Wait, where are they? It's like, we have one ornithopter due east, 2 ornithopters due west. They're on a flight path, headed right towards us. What are your commands? And he's just kind of like, he looks at Iblis. Iblis is just kind of like, not with me, mate. I don't know what's going on. All right.
This was a trap.
He's like, ready the weapons. He's like, take defensive positions, and just as he says that, laser guns start filling the evening sky. Everybody, I need you to roll a single die for initiative, please.
Let's stick with that same order. Doctor,
Sure.
Swordmaster, Mona.
D20. What's the single? Is it it was a D20 you said? For...
D6.
No, just D6.
All sixes.
I know some are. It's there. Oh my Jesus.
1 and 6. Oh, that's not good. Okay.
No.
Dang. All right.
Yeah.
Rock got a 1, and the bad guy's got a 6.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we know who's going first. Okay.
Aramis,
I got a 1.
Aramis got a 1.
Mona.
Okay.
Mona got a
One.
1.
Okay.
Oh, there it is. Jamie got a 6.
Jamie, nice. Okay.
We got extremes and nothing else.
And I got a 3.
Yeah, geez.
Oh, there we go.
You got a 3? It's okay.
Jamie
Yep.
got a
Rune got a
6.
Rock, Aramis, and Mona each got a 1. Good lord. Alright, hold on a second.
Yikes, yikes,
Yep.
yikes.
Yep.
That's
Bliss
not
got a
good.
2. Oh my. Okay. Duncan's at 5. This character's at 6. Okay. One of the ornithopters, the one that's coming in from the east, is like maneuvering in a particular way to actually go around you, which is kind of confusing. You see, like, the ones that are coming from the west immediately start opening fire on you guys, and you're like, oh shit, I have to take evasive maneuvers. I need Rune to give me a piloting check, please. Like your life depends on it. And let's
Rune
see.
will be using his whole action to substitute intelligence for whatever it would have been, probably
Pilot.
Dex.
Yeah, that would probably be wise. Let's see. And now Iblis needs to make a check on his own as well. Dun-dun-dun-dun-dun. Where are you, Iblis?
1
There you are.
success. We don't die.
We don't die. We don't die. 7. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4.
I have this thing about
6.
death. It
Rolling
ain't me.
7 dice for Iblis. He gets 1 success. So he's like, whoa! You get 1 success as well. Let me see what the bad guys roll here. This is piloting.
Mhm.
6. They're not great, admittedly. All right.
They all crash into each other.
2 successes for one of the ornithopters.
Crap.
Yep, you got it. One of them misses completely. Like, you see Rune just like, he twists, and you guys do like this dance in the sky with the ornithopters as the purple hum of the laser gun beams go right underneath the wing, like, they kind of crisscross each other. The other one, though, is about to shoot down Duncan's ornithopter with Iblis on board. And then the one that's coming from the east kind of swoops in and takes the hit. And just then you hear, like, the voice on the chatter that was warning you to get out of there. You hear it a lot more clearer now that he's within range. It's Turox. He's like, it's our Arcana threat! His ornithopter gets hit and explodes. And you see it starts spiraling over the open desert plain here. And it's spiraling out of control. You see him trying to take control of he's trying to steer it into the rocks. Rolling for something else. 1. Okay, cool. So those guys
That's
went
not
first.
good.
The Harkonnens, in this particular case, went first, and they missed you by that much. Now, in order of initiative, we have Duncan on board his Ornithopter. He takes control from Iblis. He's like, all right, I'm taking control. He grabs the stick, and you see the Ornithopter take a deep dive like this, and do like a sort of like a loop-de-loop sort of deal with the oncoming Harkonnen Ornithopter as it tries to strafe you guys. You catch a glimpse of a badly spray-painted hawk crest on the side of the Ornithopter, and you see Duncan comes back up and he opens fire with the lasgun emplacement. And I'm gonna be rolling a lot of dice. Okay, hold on a second.
I don't like that sound.
Yeah.
Actually, he actually misses. Holy crap! So he opens fire on the Harkonnen ship and he misses just barely. Like it just basically kind of clips the wing, and they escape along a particular flight path, and they kind of veer back around to do another pass. Okay, number 5, number 4, nobody. Rune is next on the initiative at number 3.
I didn't
Rune
know
has
what
to
it
use
said.
all
Sorry,
his
I didn't-
actions to
I
fly
forgot
with
you-
intelligence.
I forgot you go at the beginning of the round 2, Jamie. What did you want to do?
I mean, I'm
You
on.
and the Harkonnens tied.
I'm on the lasgun for my copter, so I'd like to try to, blast whoever it was that's swinging by us closest.
Okay, go for it.
That's just a ranged attack combat, right?
The range combat, yes, but with Ornithopters, I believe you actually get a bonus for the control mechanism here to actually fire on these guys. Give me 1 second here. Un momento, por favor.
Do it.
Do it.
This gives you a +1 to hit, so whatever your ranged combat is, go ahead and add 1 to it.
Okay, so I have a pool of 5, and I
Yes.
get.
You got 1!
success. Boom!
Nice. All right. You do some damage to this one, and you open it up, and you blast the oncoming Ornithopter that tried to take a shot at you. And you immediately clip one part of the tail, like just you buzzsaw part of it off, and you see it's like trailing smoke now. Took some damage, not completely out. It's coming around for another pass though to take a shot at you. Now it's Rune's turn.
Rune has to use all his actions to fly using intelligence.
Go for it.
That's the price I pay.
That's the price you pay. You just have to maintain control. All right, sure. Let's see. Then it's gonna be Iblis. You guys go last. Iblis actually goes before everybody else left in the group here.
God,
Let's
that
see.
sucks.
He's gonna try to outmaneuver this guy. 4, 5, 6, 7. He's like, "If I may, sword master," and he you see Duncan nods and he grabs the control stick and he's like, he turns the Ornithopter into like a corkscrew maneuver. He goes, shoo, 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 and it just completely disorients the Harkonnen pilot. He's like, what? Like he kind of faints and he jerks the controls this way, and the one that was actually veering for you is now veering away from you. So they got him to go the opposite way. Now he's at the beginning of the next round. He's open to attack for you. Okay. Now it's everybody else. Brock, Aramis, and Mona go at the same time.
All at
I
the same
have
time.
nothing. Yep, I have nothing useful at this moment, so I'm gonna unsheath my sword, lean over the front seat, and yell at them to drive me closer, for I wish to hit them with my sword.
You see, okay, yeah. As you tell them like, get me closer, and then as you look out the window, the view screen, you see that there are people coming out of the building that where you were supposed to meet Stilgar at, and they appear to be Fremen, and they're armed with missile launchers, and they're just kind of like, they start lining up the shots for the Thopters to shoot you down.
Oh, awesome.
Yep. Okay. That was Aramis. Aramis is like, get me down there right away. Get me up front. Mona.
I'm not at the weapons station, so I don't really think there's anything I can really do here.
Did you want to... anything you want to say to these guys, now's the time to say it. Otherwise, it's Dr. Brock's.
And then our eulogy.
And our eulogy. Give us our eulogy.
Obviously, Mona is going to quick repel down.
I mean, the only thing I can think is if voice is transmittable via speakers to get
That's a good
them
question,
to,
actually. Yeah.
Actually,
That's an interesting
yeah,
idea.
I like
because
that a lot.
I don't actually know. But I mean, if I could give it a try, I would try and use the voice long distance to those Fremen that are actually on the ground, the Fremen that are on the ground, and
Alright.
I mean, I wouldn't see why not.
Not a bad idea. I would allow it.
all right. And,
Holy cow! Okay, sorry. I was just rolling some stuff. Go ahead.
and
That's not great,
Okay.
guys.
No.
I'm gonna use two of the crap. My brain died on the name.
Karama.
Karama.
Oh,
Yeah,
you're gonna use how many?
2.
That's 6 successes. You don't need that. You don't need to do that much. You can just spend 1. That's more than sufficient.
Wait, I thought it was only 1 success per Karama.
No, man, you get 3. 3 successes is
wow.
a critical success. You spend 1 Karama, and it's like, bam, you own it.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah.
Then I'm just gonna spend 1 because yeah, and I'm going to tell them to shoot the ground.
Oh
the
my
guys
God.
down below.
Like at their
Oh yeah, shoot.
You
right
take
at
off your
feet.
safety harness and you rush up to the front of the ornithopter. And you're like, "Get me on the comm." And you pull the thing out and you put it on broadcast, and you're just like, "Lay down your and like shoot down, fools!" And like,
Shoot.
or
your
no,
foot off.
you tell them you're aiming too high, fools, and like they're just like, they look at each other and they're like, "Yeah."
Click.
There's an explosion and 2 guys go, "Ah!" They explode outwards. Okay.
Yikes.
Yeah. Well done.
That was really good.
Let's see. And that leaves Dr. Brock. Did you want to do anything, or are you just like hunkering down, like, oh shit, we're gonna
No.
crash, we're gonna crash?
I'm going to I would actually like to take the phase gun
Hmm.
that Jamie's at, and I would like to improve upon it to make like a bigger explosion or make the projectile bigger.
Oh, you mess with the settings. Give me a tech roll.
What I planned on doing.
Excellent idea. Assisting.
Oh my!
Oh. In the heat of battle, you're just
Use
like
the Karama.
you're messing with it, and you're just like, I can't.
I'm 100% using Karama.
You're using Karama. Oh, Karama points going. Yeah, okay.
I'm going to
That's
use
fine.
2 because I want like a critical success, man.
Well, I mean, you just need 1.
use
1 is
one
a
to get
critical
a critical.
success. That's more than enough. You tweak this thing in such a way that the next time he actually goes to use it, he gets +3 to his attack instead of just +1 for the fire control.
Oh,
So you've
God.
effectively more than doubled his ability to shoot
He's like,
and destroy the oncoming attackers. So good job.
yeah. I
More of
told-
these
clarify,
Harkonnens
like-
start filing out of the building. Next, it's the top of the round. Actually, before the end of the round, the other 2 Atreides wings come in and they open fire on the Harkonnen ornithopters. We got him, Commander Idaho. We got him, and like one of them like scores a direct hit into the one that you shot, Jamie, blows it out of the sky. Just
Nice.
but the other one is like, we got this one, we got this one. It veers off to the side and tries to attack the one that that Iblis didn't corkscrew, the one that was veering right for you. And when it fires, and the pilot on board does this incredible maneuver and actually fires back and takes out the Atreides flight in mid-flight, just like cuts it in half. Just, these guys got buzzsawed in midair, and the thing explodes in a shower of sparks. Like, holy shit, 4 guys are dead. So now you just have 1 escort ship with you. They go at the very end of the initiative. Now it's at the top of the initiative. Jamie and the Harkonnen pilot, the remaining ship that you guys are like doing, like going after like this. You just saw one of these Atreides stop theirs go up in smoke. Now they're gunning for you. At the same time, it's your turn.
All right. I'm gonna focus fire on the one Harkonnen ship still up, trying to take us out.
All right, go for it. Give me a ranged combat, or piloting, whichever's higher for you. I assume it's ranged combat.
What's the other thing you said?
Or piloting, whichever's higher.
I actually have a 0 in range combat the way I built this character.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
What were you using before?
I'm rolling range combat.
Oh, okay. Damn.
Yeah, I built him to be poison stab man.
Not a problem.
Damn it.
So,
I forgot something important.
but I'll blow a Karama right
You
up the
blew a
bat.
Karama?
Yeah,
Alright.
I got 3, so...
Might as well use them. Yeah.
Automatic 3 successes, and then my roll...
There's no way that they can... I didn't get anything.
0
But I
successes
don't
on
think...
7 dice.
I
but-
don't think they're gonna beat 3 on
but
6
I got
dice.
3.
It's highly unlikely. You got 1 through, so you do 1 damage to them exactly. You can roll though on the critical. Well, actually, this is for a ship, not a person. So there are no critical hits on vehicles in this game, but
Okay.
to say the least, you effectively damage them to the point where they're veering away, and like they don't get to do much against you.
Okay.
They took a quick shot at the ornithopter before they had to veer away. I need Rune to give me a piloting check, please. Unless you want to jump on the Karama train. 1.
There, very nice, very nice.
You need 2 for this one. You want to take the hit?
What are they doing?
They're firing. They're taking a quick shot at the ornithopter as they veer away.
We'll take like 1 damage, I think.
It's exactly, yeah.
I'm gonna take the hit because I need to save my stuff to make an action on my turn. Yeah.
Okay, fair enough. You take a direct hit as this thing veers away. It's trailing smoke now. You see little flames coming up. It's still active, but it's almost out of the air. As part of your action for piloting, did you want to veer it down so that some of these guys can get out of the ornithopter? You see Turok's ship is sinking, or his ornithopter is already crashed onto the rocks. It hasn't exploded or anything. Like you see, like he's still alive, but the Harkonnens are moving into his position.
No, because I'm doing something else.
Oh, interesting. Okay. All right. Excellent. So let's see. We have the Harkonnens go first. Jamie just went. Now Turok's gonna go. You see, Turok is actually like trying to get out of the confines of the ornithopter that's crashed. He's like, he bursts out of the pilot seat. And he collapses to the ground. There's smoke coming in behind him. He's still, despite taking his injury, he takes out his Chris knife and he faces off with the Harkonnens that are coming to his position. Next is Duncan. You see, Duncan's like, I'm taking her down! Iblis, take over the controls! Alright, you got it, mate! Iblis takes control of the ornithopter and he swoops in low. And while the thing is in motion, he slows it down to like a VTOL, and Duncan Idaho jumps out of the ornithopter with his 2 blades ready. And he starts running he starts at a dead run with his shield on while on the rocks towards the Harkonnens. Just imagine that thing that you saw in the trailer where he's like slicing and dicing his way through Harkonnens. That's what's gonna happen. Okay, let's see. Next we have Rune.
Are there ornithopters left? Enemy ornithopters?
This one.
Yeah. Is it an opposed roll when like you attack them?
Range combat typically isn't, but I will allow like
What if
a
it's melee
piloting roll,
combat?
you know, versus piloting, you know.
What if it's melee combat?
Melee combat, then yes, they can.
In that case, I will use 2 of my remaining 4 Karama points to get 6 successes. I'm gonna loop-de-loop and ram it so it doesn't destroy us, but it does blow their engines out.
Oh, okay.
Ah.
My goodness. All right, go for it. All right, that's fine. All right, so you do a loop-de-loop and you just like crash into this dude. All right, wow. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm gonna have to.
Used our damage wingtip to rip their ship open.
Yeah, I rolled no successes on the response. So like, you basically
Please, that
go.
bitch.
There it is.
You just performed a melee maneuver with a plane.
That's amazing.
You
That's
just,
amazing.
it really is. Like you've seen some.
It was me. I had
Some
my sword through
piloting.
the roof, and he just.
Yeah, you've seen the Atreides do some like high maneuvers and stuff. You never seen anything like this. Like he hits the throttle and he puts both ornithopters next to each other, and then he does this, and like it just clips it. And then when he makes contact, he slows it down and he jets forward. So like it cuts into the craft and then like leaves a gash. You basically cut a hole through the floor, and you see one of the Harkonnen agents falls to his death onto the sands. The rest of the ornithopter kind of catches fire and explodes, and the other ones get rained down onto the rocks, and the collision hits the ground and explodes. Boom! Sand cloud comes up and just gets thrown up into the air. Silly Harkonnens, though, they were wearing shields the whole time.
Oh god.
So now when they hit the floor, their shield is active on the sand. And all of a sudden, you hear like a sound as like the static electricity starts building in the near distance and starts getting closer. A worm approaches. You see the one Atreides wing that's open. It's like, we've got worm sign! We've got worm sign! We need to get out of here now! Let's see.
Get out of here! I don't want to be worm food. Oh.
That was awesome. Iblis's turn next. He uses his actions basically to just pilot
Can you speak as
and
a
try
free
to
action?
fire. What's that?
Can you speak
Speaking
as-
is a free action. Yeah, that's fine.
I yell out as we're obviously he said all the wings are we're getting out of here because the worms incoming, but we still have that store down there, right? Like the
Yes.
right.
That big massive building that the Harkonnens are coming out of. Yes.
So
Put me
my
down, mate.
assumption is that it's filled with different types of munitions that they've been using to run these attacks, things like that. So as we prepare to leave, I want to say out over the whatever comms we're using, focus fire on the store.
On the storage. Yeah. You see, Iblis is like, way ahead of you there, pal. And he's like, I'm opening fire. I'm coming in hot. And you see, like, he pilots the ornithopter closer to, like, he just let out Idaho. He swivels around and he focuses the lasgun emplacement on the oncoming Harkonnens. He just opens a big swath of hot laser action on them. Let's see here. 7 dice. Yeah. Ooh. And that's 2 successes. That's pretty good. Actually, it's fire control. Yep, no, that's good. 8 dice, and these guys have no chance.
That's what you got.
He cuts, he cuts 2 of them in half, just with a large swath of the lasgun blast, like, ugh! And you see Idaho's like, take her away, take her away. These guys are using shields. We don't want an explosion on our hands. And he starts like getting ready. He starts getting ready to receive them as they start coming onto him. He starts fighting with them hand to hand. Their shields are clashing with his.
What I want.
It's exactly what you want. No, you don't want that kind of explosion. Trust me. Let's see. Number 2, Iblis just went. Now everybody else who goes last goes last. The worm is getting closer. You hear it. You don't see
Who's
it,
gonna
but you
pick
know
up
it's
Duncan?
close. What's that?
Who's picking up Duncan?
Well, Iblis is right there,
Oh,
but
okay.
Duncan is running towards the building, and the Harkonnen that are coming out see that a sword master is coming out to fight them with a shield on, and they're like, "Oh fuck this!" They're also using shields as well. So it's that fight that they're basically having right now. Who wants to go first? Out of the last of the initiative, we have Dr. Brock, Aramis, and Mona, and then there's of course the Atreides troops.
Well, is our ship still completely airborne?
Yeah, you just finished like gutting an enemy ornithopter, and it's like you were heading down like this. So you could say, okay, I jump out
I
when
was
when
gonna
it's clear.
say on my turn, I'm gonna I'm gonna get real close to the ground so you can exit, and also so I can pick up anyone that has to escape the worm.
Wait, we're
Yes,
getting out
alright.
of the ship as the worm approaches?
Well,
I'm going for
To the
Duncan,
Rocky
but if
Enclave.
yeah,
I'm
the-
gonna be fine.
I'm going
Rocky
for
Enclave.
Duncan, Jamie. This crazy
Yeah.
sister can do what she wants.
Yeah,
I'm gonna-
this is Rocky Enclave that we're going to.
I'm gonna ask Ruben if he can actually, after he goes and tries to get Duncan, if he could land it over by the storehouse, because I'm assuming it's still in one piece. Or
Man,
did
heck
or did
no.
that thing
Jamie
go
and I are going to
sky high?
provide air support. I'll get you close so you can jump out.
That'll work.
Yep.
That'll work. If it's still in
Alright,
one
so
piece.
on your- Yeah, it's at the big. If you want, you can hold your turn. Actually, I think there's a way that you can increase your initiative. Actually, let me just,
There is, and I
check.
screwed it up because it's combat veteran. I get to roll 2 dice and pick the better one.
That's right. Yeah,
I totally forgot about that until about 10 minutes ago. I was like,
that's right. You got the cool thing. Don't forget that.
You
Let me
got the
see.
cool-
You got the cool thing. Yes, you do.
I have a couple of cool things. One that won't let me die.
Yeah, you're hard to kill. It's pretty awesome. As far as like what you can do,
It's mostly step.
one of the things you can do is to go into Overwatch, which means you can hold your action until something triggers it. Like, oh, I aim down the hallway, and then when somebody comes in, I shoot them right away. So that way you basically hit whenever. You can take cover, you can get off the ground, draw a weapon, etc. Pairing, driving a
Right.
vehicle, getting in.
Okay. Yeah, I'll do Overwatch, and when Rune finally flies over the storehouse, I'll ditch,
Nice. Okay, that works.
and then
you
I'll see whoever's there still.
Cool. You see Turok and Duncan are back to back, along with Hazma. Hazma emerges from the wreck as well, and she gets her Chris knife out, and they all start attacking these Harkonnens. And they're pretty good. They're holding their own against these guys, and they're shielded. Okay. So let's see who goes next. No, you guys, you're holding your action. Mona, I'm assuming you're doing the same. Brock, what are you doing, sir?
Yep, I'm actually going to. I know the ship has sustained some damage from those missiles.
Yeah.
I'm actually going to try to repair that.
Well, actually, they didn't get hit with the missiles, thankfully, but you got clipped by a lasgun blast. You could use your cutter though to try to like weld some stuff together, make sure that like you don't have any like loss of air or cabin pressure compromise.
Basically, I'm trying to make sure that our escape out of
Nice.
here is not broken.
Roll tech.
Are you kidding me?
No.
Using Karama.
The save all, yes. Okay, so yeah, you're working on it, and you're like welding the stuff shut, and making sure that the air pressure inside the cabin is not compromised in any way, and you manage to seal it up, and you're like give these guys a thumbs up as the ornithopter starts to swoop in low for the last vector, as it were. Let's see, the troopers move now. They're gonna fire on the remaining Harkonnen. You see some of them are getting on top of the building, and they also have weapon emplacements that they're getting ready to use. They're disguised as Fremen, these Harkonnens. Holy cow. Okay, that's 2. Okay, Iblis needs to make a roll. He's gonna get or he's gonna explode.
Or he's going to
He
explode.
needs 2 successes. He got 2 successes. Wow. All right, so the guys on the top of the building lean over and they point like that one right over there. They see this guy cutting his buddies in half. They fire missiles at him, and he moves just out of the way in time. It blasts the rocks, and he jettisons up into the air to get above them. And now it was like, "Oh yeah, I'm coming for you." You hear him on the comm. These guys go to fire on the Harkonnens at the top of the building, and they hit. You see the Atreides, the last wing swoops in, and they start taking fire. They start shooting at the guys on top of the building, and they start cutting. You see part of the building kind of collapse, and they fall to their death, like in the rubble, like ah. You see the Atreides guard are like, "We got him." And now it's the beginning of the turn, starting with the Harkonnens themselves and Jamie.
So we're still fully up. All the Harkonnen ships are down because we shot and or air meleeed them out.
Yes.
Duncan's still okay. So
Duncan's on the ground with the other two Fremen. They're being surrounded by these Harkonnen that are attacking them with shields on. The ones on top of the building were just attacking you guys, with the rocket launchers, but they got blown up essentially by the other Atreides wing. They fell into the building.
So the only people still left are the ones fighting Duncan who have shields, which they don't want me to shoot because lasers and shields make boom booms happen. Right.
That means it's time for your potential Swordmaster and Bene Gesserit Adept to do what they do best.
Also, you can shoot to position the Harkonnens for the melee combatants.
Yeah.
It's true.
Yeah.
That's a good idea.
That's
You can
what
drive
that's what I was
You
gonna
gotta be
think.
real careful though.
What I'd
You
like
don't want to screw that one up.
What I'd like to do is actually shoot part of the building or the rock that the building is connected into and see if I can't cause a little bit of like a rock slide or some
That's an
rocks
excellent
falling
idea.
to either push them further out or block their retreat back into the building.
Give me ranged combat with a +4. Because the building's not dodging out of the way.
And I souped it up.
And you souped it up, yes. Thank you, Dr. Brock.
So you get you get a plus what from that soup up?
+4. +4 dice.
Oh Jesus.
You got it.
One.
All right.
I'll blow the.
You blew the hell out of that rock enclosure like that. You see, you cause a massive avalanche that covers the front of the building. You hear the only thing that you hear over the comm is Iblis going, "Oi, oi! What are you doing? Don't fire at the building! There's spice in there!"
Oh my god.
But you effectively create a cascade of rocks and debris that disrupts the flow of the enemy combatants inside the building, and now it's just Duncan, those two Fremen versus the remaining Harkonnens around them. They're having this massive battle on the ground. They're outnumbered, but they're holding their own at the moment.
Okay.
Excellent job. Harkonnens go. They're attacking Duncan Idaho. I'm not even going to roll, but they are overwhelming them with numbers. However. Next is Duncan. He takes out a couple guys easily on his own. He just kind of stabs one, guts him, and then moves him, uses him as a shield. And when the other one goes to attack him, he attacks his friend instead. And he uses that opportunity to slip his blade past the defense and just slit the guy's throat. Two dead guys right away. The two Fremen team up against one or two, and they easily take him out. One of them jumps on the one girl, like Hamza does like a sweep and knocks the Harkonnen prone, and that's when Turok leaps over her and comes down with the blade and gets him right in the jugular. Just twists the knife and pulls it out, dead. He gets tackled by like two Harkonnens though and gets knocked sprawled back on the ground. Let's see. Next is Rune. It's your turn.
I'm gonna just get low enough so they can get out.
Okay. Yeah, you just hover
No,
in.
I lied. That's totally not all I'm doing. I just
Oh,
want to
okay.
see your reaction. No, I'm gonna get low enough to let them out, and then on my way back up, I'm gonna hit and run like as many Harkonnens as I can.
Run.
You're just gonna plow into wherever's
Yes.
left. Oh my goodness.
Nice.
Okay, I need a superb piloting check from you, sir.
I'm gonna
This
spend
has
that
to
other
be-
Karama I didn't
Oh.
need to get it.
That would be the only
From
way
before.
because that's an extremely precise move you're
Yes.
planning on performing here. So yeah, you kind of like you pull up you adjust the wings so that they tilt forward at just the right time. The jets flare out. The Ornithopter flies forward, and you take out like 2 or 3 Harkonnens in one swoop. Just boom, knock them out of a line. Yeah, the ones that were like on top of Turok and Hamza just get knocked prone, like ugh. They get thrown back, and their shields get disrupted. You see the two Fremen look at each other, and they take that opportunity, jump on their attackers. Good job. Now the door opens to the side of the Ornithopter, and Aramis grabs his katana as he's getting ready to jump out, as well as with Mona. Let's
Aramis,
see.
this is your time.
This
It's
is your
taken
time
almost
now.
2 sessions. You need to katana the shit out of something.
That is the idea.
Iblis
Because
flies over and he's like, "I'm coming in low. We're getting out of here." You see you start hearing the hissing is almost upon you, like something's dry. You hear like a roar, like, and this big mound emerges from the sand. And you see the one Harkonnen that's sort of alive, like like running out in the sand with the shield on. this big mound comes out of the sand and consumes him and whatever's left of the ornithopter. There's just like this crackle of static electricity, and the thing disappears into the sands. Big rush of oncoming wind and sand just fills the basin and fills the rock area. So it just becomes like hard to see anything. But like in between the shifting sands, you see these guys are fighting with one another in hand-to-hand combat. And now it is Aramis's time. The door slides open. You have your katana at the ready, and you see Harkonnens waiting below as they're overwhelming the swordmaster.
Yeah, I'm just gonna drop on top of them with and just try to split one of them right in half.
Now with melee combat, or combat in general outside of vehicles, you have 3 action points that you can use to perform specific actions. You can take a quick attack, which is a regular melee attack but at a -2, or you can do a standard attack. Standard attacks cost 2 action points instead of 1. Quick attack only takes 1. So you can do 2 quick attacks and then leave 1 in reserve if you want to like parry in the event that one of them tries to retaliate on their turn. Or you could do something else with that extra point, among which is one action point is considered a fast action. So you can like sprint, take cover, draw another weapon, parry in close combat. You can spend it to make an attack of opportunity in close combat if they try to run away or something like that. Get into a vehicle. As it is, you're leaving the vehicle, so that's a quick action. You have 2 action points that you can take after that. You can take 2 quick attacks for 1 each, or you can take a standard and attack somebody and try to take them out.
Now, can I use, if I wanted to use the other 2 quick attacks, can they be set to different targets?
Yeah, absolutely. They're standing close enough to each other that you can target 2 different people.
Okay, well, I'll do that. I'll use my remaining 2 to do 2 quick attacks as I land on them.
Are you activating your shield?
I don't have one.
You don't have one? Oh, you're ballsy. Okay. All right, you jump into the throne. You're like, I'm coming, and like you bring your shield. Go ahead and give me 2 quick melee combat attacks, but at a -2.
Eric, shields are really expensive.
Yeah, they are.
2 melee combat attacks. Oh wait, at a -2. Crap. Hang on. I know I forgot something. Let me try that again here.
Very.
First one.
Oh no!
I'm gonna blow a Karama. Fuck it.
Blow a Karama on that one. 3 automatic success.
You know what? Fuck it. I'm gonna blow 2 of them on both. The hell with it.
Okay. Roll 2d6, please.
12.
12.
2 6s.
No, it's 66.
Oh, so that's 66.
Yeah.
Okay,
This system,
so
this system, you need both numbers. Tim.
Sorry.
That's all right. You're fine.
66.
It's here. So you come down with the katana on the first one, and you go right through his skull. He is instantly dead. Just like dead. You flip the blade around, and you go to the next one. Roll another 2d6.
45.
45. Oh. Hold on a second. Okay.
I'm not sure I like that hit.
All right, so you cut the one guy's head like in 2. Like he's just like, you slice right through his skull. You pull the blade out, and the other one rushes in on you before you can anticipate what to do, and you're like, ah! You immediately pull up the pommel of the blade and you hit him as hard as you can with it. It goes through his shield and smashes his face inward. He is unconscious for 4 hours. He's done. He just falls back.
Outstanding.
Yes, that is the correct word here. Mona, the Swordmaster has left the Ornithopter. It is now your turn. What would you like to do?
Mona is just going to jump straight out, do a front flip, land, and shoot somebody with who has obviously a shield with a slow stunner pellet.
Excellent.
Specifically, if it's somebody in combat, that's even better.
Okay, that's your action. Yeah, you basically jump out, do a roll, you come up, and you go. You shoot him with a slow penance stunner. Go ahead and give me a ranged combat roll. I anticipate lots of more You freaking got him! Alright, nice. Nicely done. Okay. Hit, slow pellet, stunner. Yeah. You see, like, you go, and this thing, like, this
Oh shit!
gas-propelled thing just goes, shoots out, and it hits the edge of the shield, and you expect it to stop there. To everybody watching, it's like, what the hell is he? What the hell does she think she's getting? She's shooting somebody with a shield on? That's insane. But then the thing stops or slows down, hits the edge of the shield, and starts almost like boring through it, like tunneling through it, like slowly. And then the guy's helpless to stop it. He's like, ah, ah, ah! And you see, like, part of it hits the front of his chest, and out the back, his blood shoots out and splatters onto the shield itself. So it just creates this weird blossom of blood, and he's just kind of like, ugh,
Shitty.
falls back, dead. Nice shooting.
And
last,
someone in chat gave me an extra combat dice.
nice, nice. I like it. Right now, the Harkonnens are starting to thin out. You took out 2. She just took out 1. Rune took out like 3 of them. The Fremen have been taking out, Harkonnens left and right. There's maybe a handful left. Dr. Brock, did you want to do anything on your turn? Or are you just staying inside and like hiding, taking cover for the ornithopter?
Question.
Yes.
Is there any, like, it's in the spice is in the warehouse, correct?
Correct.
Okay. I'd like to grab some.
Okay.
If I could.
You want to run into the
Ballsy
building?
here.
Well, the building's a little hard to get to right now because Jamie collapsed part of the rock face onto it. So the Harkonnens are not coming in. No one else is getting in either. Or sorry, they're not coming out, and you're not able to get in easily. You can try. That would be an athletics sort of. That would be a dexterity roll.
Dex.
Dex is a skill. It's basically athletics.
Athletic.
Climbing, jumping, etc. If you're not particularly good at it, I wouldn't recommend it.
What is the athletics role in this? Because I don't see athletics.
It's not athletics. Yeah, it's called dexterity.
I was gonna say, wouldn't that be
Dexterity
dexterity?
is a skill, and it basically covers running, sprinting, climbing, acrobatics, that sort of stuff. Yeah.
I do have a 2 in dexterity,
Okay, so it would add to whatever your agility is.
which is 5 dice.
So you'd get 7 if you want to scramble into the building and like steal some handful of spice. To you could get shot at, though. I will warn
Sure.
you.
Well, the good doctor likes taking risks. Let's make
All right,
it
go for
done.
Give me a dex roll first.
One.
Quick action, so 2. You have 1 more action point. Would you like to be sneaky about getting into the building and grabbing a handful of spice, or like, you have 1 other action point left? You can take another quick action, depending on what you want to do. You can take cover. You can drop down into the ground, hide, whatever you want to do. Or you can go into Overwatch. You can ready a weapon, and if somebody appears, you can shoot them. Whatever you want to do.
Question.
Yes.
Is stealth really like a thing here, considering like there's just an all-out battle going on?
Yeah, I can. I mean, there's a lot of activity going outside of the building, and you're going inside the building, so you can. There's enough shadow. And now remember, the worm came and consumed the Thopter, kicked up a shitload of sand everywhere. So visibility's already kind of a little hazy. So you can try to disappear in the chaos and try to sneak in, and grab a handful of spice.
I'm gonna do it the fastest way possible.
Go for it. Roll. Yeah, give me an infiltration roll. Otherwise, it's just agility.
Agility?
And you get a bonus. You get about 3 bonus dice.
I'm gonna have to do agility again.
Just fine.
I don't think it counted the 3 bonus dice I had.
Ah, you didn't add it into the corner, did you? That's okay. Roll 3 other dice, and it's the same thing. You need to roll a 6 ultimately. As long as you roll a 6, you succeed.
3. Which one do I roll for the 3 dice?
You can just roll 3 dice regularly. You don't need to.
Oh, 3d6s.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. 1.
Got it. 2. Nope. Try again.
There it is.
6. There it is.
Got it.
So the
Nice.
doctor is just like, I need some spice, freshness. He jumps out of the thopter, and in the chaos, you put your goggles down as like the sands are like battering you and like swirling around you. You get to the entryway, and you could hear the Harkonnens yelling at each other, like, kill these bastards! And you're like, oh, you managed to wiggle your way through a wedged piece of rock there, and you see like there are storehouses full of spice, like cases loaded, and you're like, ooh. Open up one up, dip your hand in, and when you bring it back out, it's pure spice dripping down your hands.
Nice.
All right. You
I'm
guys
gonna-
finished off. Sorry, go ahead.
I'm gonna get like the nearest canteen that I can find,
And just shovel it in there.
shovel it in there.
Sure. Okay.
He's licking
do
his
that.
own arm.
Yeah. You see, the rest of these guys are taking off. Like the rest of the Harkonnens are just like they're surrendering, or they're just like getting the fuck out of there. They're trying to climb their way out of there. You see, as soon as they see like the remaining Atreides thopter like fly by, and they see their fallen comrades. As soon as the sand kick up is starting to thin away, they start realizing more and more that they're completely outnumbered and cut off from the reinforcements inside the building. So they start surrendering outside. They put their hands on their head. They drop to their knees. We got him! You see Idaho yell over the comm. We got him! All right, let's round him up. Let's get him out of here. You see Iblis is like, all right, putting it down. You see like, Ornithopter comes down. Doors open up. It's like, come on inside. We're getting out of here.
Whew. That's quite the cast. Quite the cast.
All right. Yeah, you see the rest of these guys drop down to the ground. They're like glaring at you guys as they power down their shields and they surrender their arms to you. Duncan, takes them, and the rest of the Atreides groups put down their Ornithopter as well, and they start clearing out the edge of it, and they start putting however many of you on board to take back to Arakeen. And now, as we sort of are wrapping up, you see Duncan's pretty proud that you guys, saved Turok's or attempted to save Turok's life. You see, though, as he's congratulating you guys, you see Turok just kind of falls off to the side like this, and he clutches his stomach. He's like, ugh. And you see Hamza's like, oh no. He's like, and she comes over and she tries to lay him down. Dr. Brock is nowhere to be seen, probably because he's inside shoveling his flask full of spice. Turok looks up at Duncan and anybody else who manages to be nearby, and he's just like, he pulls out his crysknife and he opens his hand for somebody to take it, and he says something to whoever would go ahead and do so. To whoever wants to take the knife from him can hear what he has to say.
If we're all there, I'd step up.
You step up. You gave them the knife at the beginning, and now you're taking his knife in the end.
Yeah.
He brings you close, and he whispers one word into your ear. You don't know what it means, and you see he dies. Hamza is just kind of like, she doesn't no tears, nothing. She just like, she hardens up and she looks away. I must take him back to the tribe to reclaim his water. I will show you the way. She looks at the Ornithopter. I will show you the way to our siege. We've bled together, and I suppose that's sufficient. You see, Idaho's like, if you would do that, and he looks over at some of the other Atreides troops that are gathering. It's like, we got it under control, Commander. You can go ahead. And he's like, we've called for reinforcements. They're going to be here momentarily to pick up these Harkonnen scum. And he's like, nods. He's like, we'd be honored if you would be able to do that. And you see Hazma, you all get on board the Ornithopter and start heading out toward Siege Tabar. Hazma looks over to you and says, what did he say? And you say the one word that Turok whispered to you. He says, Taqwa. And she's like, and immediately, as soon as she hears that, she starts weeping into her hand. And Idaho's like, what does it mean, Takwa? She's like, it means the price of freedom. The price of freedom for Turok was death. As you guys are flying into Siege Tabar, you see it's starting to become night now. This is when the Fremen are actually most active. She tells you where to land safely, and when you guys emerge from the ornithopter, there's a group already ready to receive you. Blue eyes in the night against the stark relief of the rocks. They bring you inside this shadowed interior. You think it's just a cave, but it's much more advanced than you were expecting it to be, and there's a lot of people here. They bring you before this man with a dark beard. He's got like the Fremen garb on and like a deep desert cloak. And he's like, "You must be the one that the Atreides sent. Have a seat." He sees like everybody's looking at you nervously, weapons at the ready. These are strangers that walk into this Fremen siege. And he's like, Asma told me everything. You fought and killed Harkonnen who disguised themselves as Fremen, trying to foil an alliance between our tribes. I'm told you, in particular, fought very well, Duncan, Idaho. You tried to save Turok's life and failed, but you recovered his crysknife. And he looks to you, Jamie. And you see somebody from the background yells, "They can't be allowed to live! They know where we are!" And Stilgar says, "They fought and killed Harkonnens in defense of our people." And somebody else yells back, same person, "Any child here can kill a Harkonnen. They saw crysknife still. No outsider is allowed to see one and live. It is our way." Stilgar says, "Ways change. Besides, this isn't the first time an outsider has seen a crysknife and lived. They can't be allowed to—" "Shut up, Jameis!" he says. He collects himself a little bit, and then he starts to tell you a story. A long time ago, 3 young Wali, Fremen boys, were out in the desert looking for the Little Makers to bring back to their siege. 6 Harkonnens, armed with blades and shield. They found them along the rocks on their way back and began toying with them. Soon the toying gave way to violence. Armed with just crysknives, the boys took down 2 of those Harkonnen animals, though one of them was taken in turn. Suddenly a man with a shield similar to the ones that the Harkonnens used appeared with blade in hand. Without any concern for his safety, he dispatched 2 of these Harkonnen attackers. The last 2, surprised at the stranger's assault, were quickly taken by the remaining children. This man, this outsider, he says, you may have heard of. His name is Pardot Kynes. He saved those boys. He told them that he worked for the Emperor as a planetologist here on Arrakis. Any adult Fremen present would have thanked Kynes for their assistance, and then sent his spirit to join the endless graveyard of outsiders who had seen a crysknife. But these were just children, and this outsider had just saved their lives, killed Harkonnens with ease. Owing the stranger a water debt, they brought him unannounced as a guest to their siege. The Naib and the rest of the elders there were concerned about having an outsider in their home, having seen what they saw thus far. After going back and forth with one another, they all reluctantly agreed to kill the planetologist and gave the order to one of their tribe's warriors to strike him down. When their assassin moved close enough to strike, however, they froze. All around the planetologist were children and even other adult Fremen, sitting before him and listening intently to what he was telling them. He spoke endlessly of worlds outside Arrakis, where water fell from the sky, and of oceans as great as the desert sands here. This was a myth, of course. Such things could not be true, and yet they were. The most incredible claim was when he said that the same could be done here. That if only a portion of the world's ecology was changed, it would be possible to change the face of Arrakis forever. Maybe not in this generation or mine, but it would happen if all Fremen worked to make it happen. Then something truly incredible happened in that chamber. In that moment, the assassin froze as they poised to strike, enraptured in what was happening. Kynes, noticing the movement, reacted as one would to dismiss an insect. With a casual gesture, he said, "Remove yourself." Taking the command literally, as if commanded by God itself, the assassin looked down at the faces gathered around them one last time and plunged the blade into their chest. In that moment, everyone having witnessed this thing was changed forever. This man from the outer worlds shared a dream of rain on Dune, and with those words planted the seeds of this dream inside each of us. His dream became our dream. Those boys he saved that day grew up to be great warriors for this new cause, and one of them became that Sietch's Naib. I owe everything, not just my life, to an outsider like yourselves. You shed blood fighting our enemies and risked your lives to save the life of one of our own. You also brought back that crysknife, something sacred to all of us. If the House of Atreides is to be judged by your moral character, then I think I can say with ease that we may be allies yet. I am eager to meet this Duke of yours. And with that, he tells you this story about his own personal experience. The rest of the time, you see, Duncan says, "I'm going to be spending quite a bit of time with this Fremen and his tribe. You're free to go back to the city of Arkeen. As far as I'm concerned, our mission was a success. We found the people responsible for these atrocities, and we brought down swift Atreides justice upon them. As far as I'm concerned, you can return back to the residency. Those of you with House Deimos and House Spiridon, respectively, you can go back to your respective houses back on Caladan. There is much work to be done still." And with that, he says, he pledges himself to Stilgar. Like, he comes before the group and he's like, "I pledge my water to you and your tribe as a token of faith between your people and our people." And you see Stilgar's like, "Very well. Our waters shall mingle. You will be of dual allegiance then, Duncan Idaho." And he says, "Yes." He nods. With that, you're released with your attendance to Idaho. He tells you can go ahead and board the ornithopters, head back to the residency. Those of you who go back curiously notice that Iblis is nowhere to be found. After the Harkonnens got taken back and they got imprisoned and everything, and they got held and interrogated, nobody knows what happened to Iblis. But the next day, the security commander gathers everybody who's left over, minus Idaho, for a meeting. Before you guys head out to the airfield or what have you, he comes back and he informs you, "It seems that this Iblis fellow, he seems to have absconded with an obscene amount of melange."
Can't trust him.
The guild, of course, are not disclosing of his whereabouts, but he supposedly put in a request that the Duke himself was requesting these spice stores from the desert, and well, he is no longer here, as you can tell. And he's like, "I've made the appropriate arrangements for all of you to go back if you decide to go back. Otherwise, we have much work to do here at the residency, and we are to begin our security briefing post-haste. Dr. Brox, I believe somebody is waiting for you to fulfill your promise. What does that scene look like as we finish up our tale this evening?"
Well, I'm going to meet with the boy.
So the image is that of Dr. Brock saying, "Okay, it's time to go back to Caladan." The arrangements have already been made. You start walking out at some dips below the horizon. You see there's somebody waiting for you at the airfield, and it's this young boy. He takes your hand and you walk onto the shuttle together before it goes back. It takes off and jettisons off for the Space and Guild Highliner. And that's where all story stops. I hope you guys enjoyed my silly little tale.
I want to know what everybody does.
Yes.
besides the doctor.
Yeah, what does everybody else do?
I know what Jamie would do.
What's that?
When back at the camp with the Fremen and Duncan releases us to go back to the house, I would actually stay, or ask to stay, and say, "So you all enjoyed killing Harkonnens?"
Damn it, Steve.
And then my chin, I just kind of. I know a thing or two about that if you'll indulge me.
Entertain my company, yes.
And then it would just end with that. And I'd like to work with them more directly and teach them more assassin kind of tactics. and
Techniques, yes.
And,
have you heard of this poison? I think it's quite cool.
Yeah. And you spend the rest of my days killing Harkonnens.
Yay! Yeah, this is just a short little one-shot. Obviously, there's other stuff on the horizon that I had planned for, but this was just a little thing to whet your appetite, so to speak. Now that the storm is brewing in the distance, we have to seek shelter and to siege until it passes, but never fear, as we'll return next Sunday with a new awesome adventure, Conan, 3 Black Coffins. And I think before we finish off, we should probably vote for our favorites. Every game, all players have the opportunity to vote for their favorite player that session for any reason. As a reward, the chosen player gets a point of experience or special bonus die for the next game that can be used at any time. Starting with Steve, who's your favorite this session and why?
Oh, why did you go with me first? Oh, no.
I know.
I loved that everyone got to do something incredibly awesome. I loved it. The doctor went super stealth and out-stealthed me. He, like, the infiltrator never infiltrated, but the doctor did. So
Yes.
That's awesome. Using the voice through the intercom to have people rocket themselves might be the coolest thing ever.
100%.
Him finally getting to super katana people
Have to
Yes.
freaking do something.
and just insta-killing both of them. And when I saw your rolls, I was like, well, they're dead. And then obviously Tyler,
Being Tyler.
I just blanked.
Gutting
Oh,
the Ornithopter
Lancing-
melee style.
yeah, meleeing with a plane. So
Yeah.
I don't know how to pick. So
So we give it to Eric.
yeah. So there's that. No,
Oh,
I'm
you
gonna-
guys, man.
No, I'm gonna go with Devin actually.
Nice.
Being
That was awesome.
Being
Yeah.
stuck in a non-pilot, non-gunner position
That was very-
and still being able to do that. That was
very
awesome.
creative.
Very creative.
Thank
you.
Use of your power.
Jared.
Oh, gotta choose me second, man.
Everybody did something pretty awesome, so yeah, you got plenty to work with.
Yeah. I have to give it to Tyler because I really like that maneuver he did with the airship.
Yes.
With the blowing out the engines. I thought that was cool as shit.
Absolutely. Devin.
And tell
I'm
us
gonna
what
go
your
with
character
Tyler
does.
because
Yeah, for real,
Yes.
I really do want to hear
So,
what his character does after. Yeah.
Oh yeah, the doctor.
Oh, yeah.
so
So
as
we
far
did hear
as,
the doctor, didn't we?
We did hear the doctor. He took the kid back.
Yeah, he
Yeah.
took the kid back, becomes dad.
Yeah.
There
to
you
be
go.
honest with you, he's my assistant.
Okay,
Yeah.
Benny Jesuit, go ahead.
okay, so as far as the vote, it's gonna go to Tyler because when you fly through the sky just to hit that one guy, that's a melee.
Amazing.
No, that's a melee.
I'm gonna change my vote now.
And as far as my character actually goes and meets Jamie outside of his room and just walks in unannounced, and
Oh no.
all you hear is, "Thank you for your contribution to our program."
Wow, that's amazing. Okay.
And then I leave forever.
Nice.
Followed by support your local union.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what it is. A
Yeah.
union.
In a way.
It was a union for about 5 minutes.
Yeah. Tyler?
Runes chooses to stay and mingle his waters with the tribe because the spice showed him a vision of Arrakis transforming. So after hearing this story, I know my
Confirmed.
destiny is here.
Yep. Nice.
And my vote goes to rocket launching people at their feet.
Okay,
pretty
so
badass.
Devin gets that's 2 for Devin, I believe. Yeah, and Tim, what does your character do, and who's your vote?
My character's actually going to stay with Duncan because it's Duncan and he's going to need the extra help.
Oh wow, so
His
you
ass
got
almost
2 sword
died.
masters and a mentat with the from it. Very interesting. Okay, very cool. And who gets your vote?
And my vote, it was going to go to Tyler for the amazing flying skills he did, but I have to give it to Devin for that song just now because that was amazingly done.
Thank you.
Jesus.
Well done. Yes. All right, you guys did excellent. Thank you so much for doing what you do, being awesome. Let's see here. Keep watching Vorpal Tales on Twitch. Mondays we have Chronicles of Darkness, Contagion Chronicle. Tuesdays we've got D&D 5e, Dungeons of the Mad Mage. Wednesdays we're doing World of Darkness, Ghost Hunters, Chimera House. Thursdays we've got Starfinder, Outer Worlds, Inner Demons. Friday we have Cult, Divinity Lost, The Judas Grail. And of course, don't forget, next Sunday, Conan, 3 Black Coffins. Check our Patreon page and keep up to date with what we're doing throughout the calendar and keep posted on vorpaltales.com. And remember, Yaiha Chuhada, long live the fighters. Good night, guys.
See ya.